Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Guys, I am really excited about this week, really excited about today's show, really excited about everything in general, but the Friday night special, 5 o'clock, thanks to our friends at Neighbors in Germantown and Neighbors Nashville. They've got 3 locations, one coming soon to Franklin. But the special Friday night, 5 o'clock, 5 to 7, and then it will play throughout the weekend. Floyd Reese, a true Titan, honoring the Ring of Honor legacy for the Titans-Oilers Ring of Honor. That is coming along, and I am very, very excited about it. And as I said yesterday on the show, I am not – there's a lot of things, like I'm not one of these people. I'm not like Floyd, who says, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be done right. I have half-assed a lot of things in my life. This will not be one of them. Give yourself some
credit, though. Give yourself some credit.
This will not be one of them. And I saw that Jim Wyatt sent me a story that they are running at Titans, or I guess it's TennesseeTitans.com. No, I can't. TitansOnline.com. It was Titans Online for like 40 years. But anywho, the Titans website, Jim Wyatt sent me an article where he sat down with Sally Reese. And I think it's worth everybody's time. And as I said, this is Floyd week. So Floyd will be brought up many a times this week. This was the last week that he and I ever worked together. A year ago this week, the Titans played the Ravens on a Sunday. We did the pregame show, and that was the end of Floyd's radio career. And now I think everybody knows why. At the time, we had to hide it. Really, I wasn't even supposed to know. And that's just how private he was. But I will say the last few days have been pretty tough. But I'm really excited for this special. And the one thing that I take a lot of solace out of is that when you lose like a grandmother, a grandfather, a parent, a friend, when you lose those things in life, most people reach out to you because they know it affects you because it was your grandfather or your friend or your brother or your whatever. But I feel like when I talk about Floyd, and this coming up on the 1-year anniversary of our final show together and the celebration of his legacy this weekend, I feel like you guys feel the same way I do. And so I feel incredibly blessed that as we go through all this, that we do it all together. Because I know that you started listening because of him. Like, I heard the self-proclaimed ratings monitor, Paul Kaharski, talking on the morning show today about things that I don't even know how Paul knows these things. And I don't even know what Paul thinks he knows, but I'm sure, he's probably right. He was congratulating Robbie and Rexford on some good news. But I know that everybody started listening to this show for Floyd. And I know that a lot of people listen to this show every single day. And I don't, for 1 second, take the success of our radio program, and not to say that Caroline is not a humongous part of why we've had a lot of recent success, because you very much are. But I know that a lot of people that started on this show did it because they wanted a show that talked about the Titans, and there was nobody more knowledgeable in town than him, ever. And, we were lucky to have a great show. We were lucky to get on each other all the time. We were lucky to have Ian kind of in the middle of it, really on his side more often than not. And so, we continue on. And as I said yesterday, he'd be proud as could be of this Titans football team. Now, one thing that probably would bother him, Ryan Tannehill's interception throwing as of right now. So what I said yesterday on the show we were going to do, and this is what I want to start the show off on today, is an open forum, a Ryan Tannehill caucus. I was looking back at old podcasts at Jared and the GM, and we used to have, in 2019, on Wednesdays, we used to have the Marcus Mariota approval poll rating. And it was a Twitter poll done by me, and it was yes, it was no, and it was no opinion. And as the season progressed, they'd win a game, yes. They'd lose, no. They'd win, yes. They'd lose, no. And then finally, Marcus got to a point to where, it was time to go. And we had the Ryan Tannehill approval poll rate. Well, we haven't done that because there is no viable option. Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback this year. He's the quarterback next year, and he's the quarterback the year after it, whether or not you like it. That's how the cookie crumbles. But what do we make of Tannehill? Because I do feel like Ryan Tannehill right now is the glue holding the entire team together. 8-2, defense is playing well, but they're not 8-2 because of Ryan Tannehill. They're 2-0 in their last 2 games because of the defense and because Tannehill, while he hasn't been great, Tannehill has been good enough. But it does kind of feel like he is the glue that's holding this team together. Every team that stinks, we look right at the quarterback. Right now, the Rams look like trash, and everybody's looking at Matthew Stafford because he looked like trash against the Titans, and he looked abysmal yesterday. So what do we make of the great Tannehill debate? This is a caucus. It is an open forum. It is not a Jared monologue, which is usually what the 2 o'clock segment is on this show. So I invite you to participate, 615-737-1025. Calls and texts, 615-737-1025. With this question, how do we feel about Ryan Tannehill right now? Now, we know that there is no option to go away from Tannehill. He is the starting quarterback, and again, he will be for the next 2 seasons after this one. They're winning. I don't think I've ever seen a winning quarterback get benched on a team that had Super Bowl aspirations, and this team does. And yet he is nothing, in my opinion, like the Ryan Tannehill that he was for the last 2 years. Now, he doesn't have a tight end. For the last 2 years, he had Jonnu Smith. He doesn't have as unreliable as Corey Davis could be. He doesn't have a solid number 2 wide receiver. Julio Jones has been hurt for most of this year. He doesn't have Adam Humphries, a $9 million slot player, who he had for a lot of the time over the last 2 years. The offensive line, which was a jumbled mess before he got here, is still a jumbled mess with mostly the same guys. And now he's doing it for the last 2 games without Derrick Henry. And yet, he's making throws every week that it looks like he's paid by the other team. Just throw it right over the middle against the Colts. Throw it right to Jalen Ramsey against the Rams. Throw it to the linebacker covering a tackle in the end zone at the end of the first half last week against the Saints. So what is the story with Ryan Tannehill? I saw A to Z Sports had an article. Ryan Tannehill is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm like, what? Are we watching the same games? So with that, let's open it up. The Tannehill Caucus, Caroline Fenton, you go first.
My official thoughts on Ryan Tannehill, and I did send out a Twitter poll earlier today because I just wanted to get a good vibe for what Titans fans were thinking. Like, were the textures that we had yesterday, was that just a small sample size? I wanted to see what people were thinking. And I was kind of surprised by the responses. I said, Ryan Tannehill already exceeded the number of interceptions that he threw last season. Does that concern you at all? 3 options. Yes, not at all. Third option, Titans win, so who cares? 40% say yes, 36% Titans win, so who cares?
So you're saying basically 80% of the people didn't say no.
Correct. So an overwhelming majority are concerned about Tannehill's turnovers. And I am too. Because I hear the people who responded to that poll saying, who cares about the Titans? Who cares about the Tannehill's turnovers? Who cares about that? Because if as long as the Titans win, it doesn't matter. And I hear that, and I get it. I know, because Tannehill was able to find a way to win those games even when he was throwing turnovers, even without Derrick Henry. I know it. I hear you guys. I hear it. But how sustainable is that? How many more games can the Titans win if Ryan Tannehill is turning the ball over, if Ryan Tannehill is making dumb decisions? How many more games can the Titans win if Ryan Tannehill's throwing interceptions in the end zone and he gets bailed out of it? How many more times is that going to happen? So my official ruling on Ryan Tannehill is yes, I am concerned. even though the Titans are winning games. They're winning games that originally we didn't think they were going to win. They're winning games even when they really shouldn't, if Ryan Tannehill is throwing interceptions like that or making bad decisions like that. I hear that. I get it. But I'm concerned.
I'm concerned too. I just think about it like this. And I know like everybody's going to look at me and say like, oh, Dr. Doom, Jared Stillman. First of all, I remember Jake Locker. Okay? I remember the musical chairs with Kerry Collins and Vince Young. I remember when Matthew Hasselbeck was the starting quarterback here. I remember when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the starting quarterback here. I remember, I can go on and on. I went to the game where Doug Sling Johnson from Florida started at quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I've been through it all. I remember Rusty Smith against Washington in 2010. I have been through it all. And I know, like with all certainty, Ryan Tannehill is by far either the best or second best quarterback in the history of the Tennessee Titans. I know that. And I know that the Tannehill that you had 2 years ago, you could win a Super Bowl with this defense with. If you had this defense in the AFC Championship game against Patrick Mahomes, you win up 17-7. If you had this defense last year, Lamar Jackson probably doesn't do what he did in the playoff game, and you probably win. Right now, you're the number one seed in the AFC, and I believe that winning and losing is a quarterback stat. And yet I'm sitting here looking at these throws, and I think, you make that bad throw in a game, in a playoff game, and he's averaging about one horrifically awful decision a game. You make one of those throws, and it's not the Indianapolis Colts, and all of a sudden, you could be going home early. And that's where I get worried. That's where I get concerned. I think he's still got the toughness. I think he's still got the attitude. I think he's still, and I don't know what the reason is. I've said, is it Arthur Smith? Is it Jonnu Smith? Is it the lack of Corey Davis? Now he doesn't have Derrick Henry. I don't know what it is. But there's something missing right now from Tannehill. And I think that whatever that something is, there's some good news here. I know he can find it because I've seen it before. So if he finds it, which I would feel pretty good about, if he finds it, I think the Super Bowl is a legitimate possibility. If he finds it and Derrick Henry comes back, I think the Titans are the best team in the NFL. Hands down. But there's just something missing. And I just don't know if you can win 3 or 4 games against quality opponents in January/February. I don't know if you can do that with him making critical mistakes. The 2000 Titans are the best team that I have ever seen. The 2000 Titans threw a ball for an interception that Ray Lewis returned for a touchdown in the end zone, and you lost. And that Super Bowl, as a 5th grade fan at the time, that was our Super Bowl. They had like 79 yards of total offense. The Ravens did that day. And you lost. 2002. Titans are on the road at Oakland in the AFC Championship game. Neck and neck right before halftime. John Simon fumbles the kickoff. You lose. We could sit here and say, hey, they threw the interception against the Colts, but it didn't matter. They won. Didn't matter that the touchdown that they scored before the half shouldn't have counted because Jerome Boger's crew's terrible. Doesn't matter. Maybe doesn't matter this week, but you throw 3 of those in the playoffs, I get a little worried about it. So the good news is I think Tannehill can figure it out. I think he's got the experience to figure it out. I think he's a smart enough player to get it figured out. I mean, I think there's something there. If he can fix it, I think he can. But I'm definitely concerned. That's how I feel on the Tannehill caucus. We are to you next. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Refresh me with that poll again. What were those statistics you had for me?
So in this poll, 40% says yes, they're concerned about the turnovers. 36% say Titans win, so who cares? 24% says not at all.
All right. We're to you next. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone lines today are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Stillman & Company, we are delivered by TriStar Moving. It's ESPN 1025 The Game, and we're streaming on the Game Nashville app.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, we think you deserve the very best driving experience, and now is the time for our Season of Change CPO event at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you're backed by the remaining new vehicle limited warranty. Once that expires, the certified pre-owned limited warranty goes into effect, providing an additional 12 months of coverage with unlimited miles. See all the perks and exceptional offers for your certified pre-owned vehicle from Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
More than 80% of hospitals and other healthcare employers are now looking to hire nurses holding a bachelor's degree. That's why Aspen University's 3-year accelerated and accredited BSN pre-licensure program is now enrolling with no wait list. Tuition and fees are less than $50,000 and transfer credits are accepted. Want to learn more? Just text STEP to 323232 right now. Most courses are online and you'll complete your clinicals within our collaborative network of healthcare providers. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. Text STEP to 323232 right now. All clinical simulations and labs are delivered in person while following CDC guidelines for social distancing and masks. If you've thought about becoming a registered nurse, the time is now. Text STEP to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word STEP to 323232 right now. Text STEP to 323232. Total cost of the degree program will vary depending on the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Employment statistics are from the AAC and Research Brief, published in December 2020. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for $60, $70, $100 grand or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Bode Nashville puts you in a chic and stylish downtown Nashville hotel. Walking distance to some of Music City's most popular spots. Working with local partners, they introduce you to the city, its craft, and its tastes. From their porch coffee and marketplace, serving local coffee from Stay Golden, to their in-house cocktail bar, Sidebar. Bode Nashville is a perfect spot for your pregame or nightcap and citywide adventure in between. Connect to Music City, its culture, its craft, and each other at Bode Nashville at 401 2nd Avenue South in Sobro.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
You guys have taken the next man up thing kind of to the extreme this year. I think you've had the most players playing games in the NFL. Is this a point of pride in the locker room? Are you sick of this continuing to be the case? Like, you guys talk about this a lot?
It's something we believe in. Obviously we talk about it. You don't want to consistently have other guys step in, but if that's the case, then you want guys to step in and play with confidence, and something our program believes in. Our coaches are preaching it. We believe in it as players. That, if you get an opportunity, you got to step in and take advantage of it. And so if that mentality persists throughout the organization, then we're going to be in good shape.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill, next man up. And look, I believe winning and losing is a quarterback stat. The Titans are 8-2. They're 2-0 without Derrick Henry. I think credit has to be given where credit is due. We are having the Ryan Tannehill Caucus, I promise to you, for your phones, 615-737-1025. But before we go to the phones, Caroline apparently has a new poll.
Yes, we have a new poll tweeted out in the 1025 account, so if you'd like to.
When did this get tweeted out?
6 minutes ago.
Okay, so not a ton of response time.
Correct. So, we got some votes still rolling in, but where it stands right now, tweeted at the poll, what do you think is the reason for Tannehill's turnovers? 4 options: pass protection, injuries on offense, new offensive coordinator, and regression. So far, 50% says pass protection, 53 says pass pro. We've got votes coming in. 15 says injuries on offense, 13 say new offensive coordinator, and 18 say regression.
Interesting. So Todd Downing not getting a lot of the blame?
Which I kind of thought Todd Downing would be, one of the bigger reasons. And these are all reasons that we've talked about throughout the past few weeks of why we think Ryan Tannehill could potentially be committing all of these turnovers. I just didn't expect that many people to say regression.
I think I'm a little surprised, but not overly surprised. But let's go to you. It's a caucus. Ian, kick us off today on Stillman and Company. Thank you for calling. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Ian.
Hey, Jared, thanks for taking my call. Hello to you and Caroline. Listen, I don't want to by any means be misconstrued that I don't think that to some degree the quarterback's responsible. But the QBR is based on the passes made and the catches received. And when the receivers deflect that ball, they don't do it. If it's in his breadbasket and he misses it, that's on the receiver. If he misses the catch and it deflects and goes into the hands of the opponent, that's on the receiver. That's not on Ryan Tannehill. But the QBR is affected because of how they play. So I think Tannehill's doing a good job. I do think he's made some bad throws. I do think pass protection has been a problem, but it's improved. But I'm happy with where the team's at right now, to include Ryan Tannehill. I think he gets a bad rap.
Thank you for your call, Ian. I mean, I think everybody's happy with where the team is right now. They're the number 1 team in the league. I think everybody's cool with that.
You'd be silly to not be happy about where the team is right now.
I think the more I was listening to him talk, because we've talked about excuses for Tannehill, or is Tannehill making mistakes, or is Tannehill. I think what bothers me is all those things that you listed in that poll, they can all be true.
Yeah. It could be a combination of a few of them.
If he had Julio Jones and Derrick Henry, would things probably be better? I'm going to vote yes. If he had Arthur Smith, who knew him and they fit like a glove, no disrespect to Todd Downing, but if he had Arthur Smith, would things be better? I think we can all say, not comfortably because we don't want to crap on Downing, but probably yes. Has Tannehill regressed a little bit from the, freaking just rocket decision-making over the last 2 years? I think we can probably all agree yes. Like the caller just talked about, well, when the receivers, tip the ball in the air and then it gets intercepted, then I can't remember the last time that happened. I think it was the ball off Chester Rogers' shoulders against Indianapolis. Other than that, Tannehill's interceptions have been pretty much Tannehill throwing
right
the ball
into the hands.
right to the other team.
Yes.
These can all be true. I totally think that there is a lot. I think there's a lot there. This can all be true. I think Sean Payton called a great game. A great offensive game plan on Sunday. I still think Trevor Siemian sucks. That's true. For sure. The last 2 teams they played, the defensive lines, the defensive fronts, the defenses themselves, other than the Rams last night. Good Lord. But they're good. And I think that's true. I don't think that it's just one thing. But the thing that bothers me, that I think some people are beating around the bush, and I think Tannehill's doing a fine job too.
He's fine.
But the decision-making, that's the issue. He should have never thrown that ball in the corner of the end zone the other day. That ball has got to go in the third row of the seats. If you see the tackle, one of those little gimmick plays where the tackle flashes and it's, you're trying to get everybody moving one way and then here's the tackle on the other side. It should be Dennis Kelly wide open at Arrowhead with nobody near him. The cheerleaders were closest to Dennis Kelly on that touchdown. Nobody near him. That's when you throw the ball. If you do that and there's a DB or a linebacker running with the tackle, you throw the ball in. This is not Jonnu Smith. I'm going to throw it up in the air. You go get it. It's who was it? Aaron Brewer? Like, it's Aaron Brewer. Like, what? Like, what? That's my problem. You throw the ball right over the middle, right to the Colts. What? Like, no, that's a bad decision. And that's what kills me, because I know Tannehill's a smart quarterback. And it's like, why is this happening every week? Every other drive, he's not making throws like that. I don't, and that is the most perplexing element of this issue as well. What's in the text line?
Indy Ben, our good old friend.
Oh, Indianapolis
Ben in Indianapolis texts in and says, this version of Tannehill seems to be his true identity. Aside from a year and a half of very efficient play where Arthur Smith was able to tap into eliminating his mistakes, he averaged 20.5 touchdowns and 12.5 interceptions per year. It's too much to expect him to carry your offense against playoff teams, so having a healthy Henry is so vital to the success of the Titans in the postseason.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I don't think anyone disagrees with that. And I don't think anyone is expecting Ryan Tannehill to carry the offense. I don't think that's necessarily his job, at least in this system.
I mean,
but do you agree with him that this is Tannehill?
I can't go there yet. I can't say this is Miami Tannehill because I didn't watch enough of Miami Tannehill, and because Tannehill is dealing with he's playing with 4 cards in a 5-card game right now.
Yes.
And we do have to give him that credit.
And there's a lot of shakeup. I mean, how many games has he had both Julio and AJ?
Arizona.
Seattle.
AJ couldn't catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
AJ got hurt in the Colts game. Julio got hurt in the Colts game.
Neither of them were there in the
Bills. They both played the Bills.
They did.
They both played the Chiefs. 4. They both played, I want to say, no, Julio got hurt and missed a game. Colts. Julio missed Colts. They both played Rams. 5. So 5.
So half the games this season, Tannehill has had consistent receivers.
Yes. And just 2.
Just 2.
Right. We're not
counting
and Marcus Johnson and Chester. Those are
the
all
plug
guys.
and plays.
They're guys. So as far as having his dudes, I think there's something to that. Rick is up next here on Stillman and Company. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I'd just like to put out to you guys and get your thoughts on it. I'm excited that we're sitting on top of the heap and considered like one of the top 3 teams in all of the NFL, according to some stuff I was watching on television today. And we haven't played our best football yet. I am convinced of that.
What makes you convinced you haven't played your best football yet?
In the game, too, and if Lawrence can get back playing as he should play, I think our best football is actually ahead of us. And
I hope you're right, Rick. I hope you're right, and I appreciate your call. I hope you're right. Going to be hard for me to find a game that they play better than the Chiefs game. That game where the defensive line was all over Mahomes. The offense did whatever they wanted in that game. Derrick Henry was effective to the tune of 80-something yards. A.J. Brown killed the Chiefs. Tannehill made one bad decision, but the game was out of reach. Kevin Byard's knocking the ball out of the back of Patrick Mahomes' arms. David Long Jr. is making a great play for an interception for Rashaan Evans. There was nothing fluky about that rear-end spanking of the Chiefs. Now, we could say the Chiefs are bad, but the Jags are bad. The Titans didn't do that to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Chiefs game was the one where I'm like, you do that every week, you're taking the Lombardi home. Now, again, is Derek going to come back? Is Bud Dupree going to come back? Is Julio going to come back? Are all these guys? I think that's certainly
those are all legitimate questions.
But I hope that the caller's right. Like, I do hope that their best football's in front of them. But when he talked about, I'm just happy with where they are right now, and I've been watching TV, and TV says the Titans are good. I have 2 thoughts to that. First of all, could you imagine telling Floyd Reese, well, hey, Colin Cowherd says the Titans are the number 1 team in the NFL this week, and I could just hear that chuckle, ha, 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 that kind of laugh. I could expect that. The second thing is, you can be the best team in the NFL and still be looking to how your team can improve, which is what I think is fair for the Titans. And then the third thing is, I said 2, now I have 3. 2000. The week that the Titans were considered the best team in the NFL. They beat a Steeler team that didn't even, I don't think, came close to qualifying for the playoffs. I know they didn't qualify for the playoffs, but I don't even think they really came close. They beat a Steeler team at Nissan Stadium by the score of 9-7 on a last-second Al Del Greco field goal. The next week, Sports Illustrated, and this was back when people subscribed to Sports Illustrated, Sports Illustrated put out a magazine with the front cover with Eddie George, and it said, "Remember the Titans." The next week, the Titans hosted the Ravens. The Titans had never lost a game at Nissan Stadium at that point in the 2 years that they had been playing there. The Ravens beat the Titans by a point. And Brian Billick, in the locker room after the game, took out the Sports Illustrated article and said something along the lines of, Sports Illustrated says they're the best team in the NFL. Well, they weren't this week, and the Ravens locker room goes nuts. And that Ravens team, as we all remember, walked back into Nissan Stadium and beat the Titans because they had a bad day on a Sunday in January. And that's how I look at this team. You might be the number one team, but remind me who the number one team on November 16th was last year, because I have no freaking clue, and I don't really care. That's how I feel right now.
Odds are it probably was not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going to guess it was the Packers or the Chiefs.
Probably.
And again, knock yourself out with your power rankings in November. This is not college football, and you do not need to impress the committee. So I keep thinking that in my head. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know what the ESPN.com power rankings are. I heard, when did everybody decide they were going to become a power rankings guy?
Titans are at 2 in ESPN's power rankings
Green
right now.
Bay 1?
Green Bay 1, I believe.
Green Bay should be 1.
Yes.
They lost a game without Aaron Rodgers. They got him back. They killed the Seahawks. They should be number 1. But I look at it like this, and I'm like, Robbie Stanley's doing his power rankings. Who cares? No offense, Robbie. Who cares where Robbie Stanley is ranking teams? I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, who cares? Is that a fair thing to ask?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't mean anything, because the Titans are just, or any team for that matter, any team is one blowout or one loss or one huge win or one narrow win, whatever it is, from going up 2 spots or down 5 spots. It's just like the college football playoff rankings. They'll be released again tonight.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
But see, that does matter because those people pick who goes to the championship.
But right now, this week on November 16th, the rankings that are released today don't matter.
No, they don't. Let's go to your phone. 615-737-1025. We're right back to them because Caroline said we got a bunch of texts, so we'll go right through them, and we'll do that coming up next here on Stillman and Company. Whose New Year's resolution is going to be to lose weight? I know a lot of people out there are probably already thinking, I got Thanksgiving and then the holidays, and I don't want to put on all that weight. And then if I put on all that weight, talk to my friends at Invigorate Health, InvigorateHealthTN.com. I love Invigorate Health, and I will tell you that they can help you lose weight, not by some miracle cure or not by something crazy, but by a drug that has been prescribed for years called semaglutide. They have it. The FDA has now approved it for weight loss. In fact, according to Men's Health magazine, quote, semaglutide can help people lose weight, improving weight-related health issues, and ideally gain more healthy years of life. This is coming from information where they talked to doctors, the medical director of the Bariatric Medical Institute in Ontario, and somebody from Stanford. I mean, I'm telling you, this is some real stuff that they've got at Invigorate Health. They've also got life-saving at times, different types of therapies, hormone replacements such as testosterone. They've got IV therapy. They've got M-Sculpt Neo, which you should Google that. And by the way, I've done M-Sculpt Neo. It's fun, and I tell you, that bad boy works. I love Invigorate Health. Give them a call today. Get a consultation. InvigorateHealthTN.com. Get a consultation. They will tell you what you need, and you will feel better not only internally, but you also feel better about yourself. InvigorateHealthTN.com.
Hey, this is Phil Forsberg, and this is Smashville.
Forsberg in the circle. He scores! Philip Forsberg! What a rocket!
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hey, it's Chase McKay. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcomes you with a special offer on the NBA. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game. If either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. That's all you have to do. That easy. Just use the bonus code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. Enjoy NBA action like never before with BetMGM's live betting options, boosted odds specials, and daily promotions at your fingertips all season long, and I love these. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that bonus code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets if a three-pointer is made in the game that you wager on. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Are you interested in starting your own business? Join the Blink Law Entrepreneur Summit on February 2nd for their one-day event to help anyone start a business. Not only will you hear from experienced entrepreneurs from a variety of fields, but all attendees will also get a one-on-one consultation with an attorney who will register your business. You will leave the event with certified documents and an officially registered business. This is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to jumpstart a new business. For more information and to register, go to facebook.com/BlinkLawLLC.
Hey, it's Jared. Your body needs water. That doesn't mean it has to be boring. And I'm here to tell you to give Focus a try. Focus is a sparkling water with a spark. It's infused with a boost of natural tea caffeine, so you get clean energy without sugar, calories, or crash. Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door. Enter promo code GAME at checkout for 15% off your first order. Focus is also available at your local Publix. That's Focus, P-H-O-C-U-S, on the web at drinkfocus.com.
Love thy neighbor, like Neighbors Nashville, founded and operated by former Titans standout Zach Piller. Neighbors Germantown and Neighbors Sylvan Park have been a fixture in the community for years and is open and ready to serve you in their legendary atmosphere, sure to deliver a one-of-a-kind experience for everyone. Both locations are open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 a.m., and Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 3 a.m., with happy hour specials weekdays from 3 to 7. Go check out Neighbors, the best sports entertainment bar in Nashville.
Next Tuesday night.
Oh, he scored! The boys in gold lead!
Playoff action comes to Music City with Nashville SC looking to continue their home dominance against Orlando City FC. Coverage begins at 6:45
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Under the same line, Ryan has had a lot of different guys block for him. He's thrown to a lot of different guys. How has he managed the revolving doors that have been there on?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan, is obviously our leader, is our quarterback, and we'll go as he goes. That's we got to take care of the football. We've got to whoever's in there protecting is not going to protect hopefully any differently. They may not do a good a job. But the idea is going to be the same. We're going to have to be firm in the middle of the pocket. We're going to have to block inside out. Know that when you can show them examples of the quarterback stepping up and, throwing passes and whatever scheme that we have completed in them, then that's what you continue to show them. And just like the other day, he stepped up, threw a nice one there to Marcus, on the through route. So. It's hard to function, if protection breaks down or there are guys in the middle of the pocket or there's guys on them. It doesn't matter who you are.
There you go. That was Mike Vrabel. By the way, let me just state for the record, Joe Rexroad. Bob in Mount Juliet is going to light up that text line on Joe. But let me just state the record. Set the record straight. Set the record straight for Joe Rexroad. I got a lot on my mind right now. Caroline, back me up. I have been listening to a lot of old Jared and the GM audio.
Yes.
And 2019, for a specific reason, there's a lot of Jared. I mean, we ripped on the offensive line so much about how they couldn't pass protect and they were no good. And Floyd was like, he was like, the big problem I have is I don't know what you do with it now. You can't just go out and get another tackle. I mean, what do you do? Like, Floyd was like kind of like, I don't know. Like, we were all callers. Floyd, me, everybody. So when Joe's like, that offensive line 2 years ago, So there was Vrabel talking about the protection. To the phones we go on the Ryan Tannehill caucus. How the fans feel about it. Caroline, let us know.
Fred in Ashland City says, I think Tannehill is trying to force it sometimes, and that's what's causing some of the bad throws. The pass protection was the problem early as well. He's been getting the ball out quicker. It has cut down on the strip sacks because he knows he can't hold on to the ball like he used to.
Okay, so when Tannehill took over the job, pass protection was horrific. He didn't throw these interceptions like this. I think he threw one against Tampa Bay in his second start that was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't throwing interceptions like this. I don't get it. I don't get this whole thing about like, hey, the protection is the problem. And I'm like, it's the same guys. When he took over, it was the same guys minus Quessenberry at right tackle. And Quessenberry, according to Pro Football Focus, can't even say that with a straight face. According to Pro Football Focus, Quessenberry is the number one right tackle in the NFL.
Well, Pro Football Focus knows all.
Oh, apparently. So, is like, how can it just be the line? Like, he took over, they weren't blocking for Mariota, they weren't blocking for him, and he didn't throw as many interceptions. Somebody help me out here. It should be stated, though, as I say this, and I'm about to talk out of both sides of my mouth here. It should be stated, Tannehill threw 7 interceptions, I believe, in 2019.
2020, he threw 7. 2019, I believe he threw 6.
I think it's the other way around.
Maybe it was. But 6 and 7 in 2019 and
He started 10 games in 2019. So he's got 8 right now. He had 7 in 2019, but he only played 10 games.
That is a very fair point.
So there is that.
But also, we have a 10-game sample size right now.
But that's what he was. So that's what I'm saying.
So,
8,
yeah.
then 7. So is it really that much of a difference? I don't know. What's next?
Ryan in Nashville, not Ryan in Tannehill, says, I'm scared to death of Tannehill throwing a bad interception late in the second half that actually cost the Titans the game.
I am so scared of that. I am so scared of Tannehill throwing an interception like that or even in the first half of a game against a good team in the playoffs at home.
Because they will capitalize.
Here's what I worry about, and I'm allowed to worry because Ian backed me up on this, but Floyd was quite the worrier when it came to worrying about what could go wrong.
I'd say that's fair.
Okay, here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a home playoff game. Look at the back end of the schedule for the Titans. We know it stinks.
Mm-hmm.
49ers, and I know they played well last night, but, I mean, come on now. 49ers,
Texans,
Dolphins,
Jags,
Texans,
Dolphins.
Trash. So you're not going to play a competitive game, you would hope, in December. Then, if things go to plan, you get a bye week. Then you get the Kansas City Chiefs. Tannehill throws a bad interception against the Kansas City Chiefs, you lose. Like, that's what I'm scared about, is that kind of scenario unfolding. Because when Derek gets back, and I love Derek, and I think no one's going to work harder than Derek, and no one can play through the pain and is tough like Derek, but I do worry that Derek may get one game, then have a week off, then play, and unlike when he starts the season, Derek is not going to be able to be working out on that foot as much as he normally does. Like, even though he didn't play in the preseason, Derek was still active on his legs going into the season. He's not going to be active on his legs going into the playoffs. And that's a sacrifice we're all going to have to make.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I am worried about that to the Texans' point. I'm worried about Tannehill in that game throwing that interception and you losing because of it.
And that is my rebuttal to all of the people who are saying, yeah, I mean, like Ryan Tannehill's throwing interceptions, but the Titans are still finding a way to win. And yes, they are. That is true. But there is going to come to a point where the Titans are playing a team that is able to capitalize on that, that knows, okay, if we put enough pressure on Ryan Tannehill, he's going to throw an errant ball and we're going to be able to intercept it and bring it back to the house. That's what I'm worried about, because you can say, well, it's okay if Ryan Tannehill throws interceptions because the Titans win until they stop winning. And I don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know. But, I mean, that's a fear of mine.
Let's go back to your phones. What else we got?
Matt says to that point, look at how many quarterbacks this year who are making mistakes and not winning games. Tannehill is making mistakes, but he's winning games.
That is a fair point. Matthew Stafford's made some mistakes the last 2 weeks.
And he's lost the last 2 games.
Has gotten their rear end spanked. You know, when my grandfather had Alzheimer's, there was something about him that if you told a joke that had just a hint of bathroom humor in it, and it had a little bit of Yiddish in there, he'd get going. So even when I'd go see him in the nursing home where he was dealing with Alzheimer's, I'd say, I'd make some Jewish joke, or I'd talk about an anatomy part in Yiddish, and he'd just go laugh, ha, 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 like his face you've heard. If you make an Odell Beckham Jr. joke today about Odell's already requested a trade, every time I hear an Odell joke right now, I'm laughing. And I don't know what it is.
I've seen so many things on Twitter the Odell curse works pretty quickly.
Does that freaking guy ever win?
I don't know.
Does he ever win a football game? When's the last time Odell played in a game that his team won?
I mean, he's been on some pretty trash teams. And it's not like he's contributed much to them.
The Browns were garbage. Then he got hurt.
And they were really good.
Go to the playoffs. He comes back.
And they're losing games, and Baker Mayfield's hurt.
Unbelievable.
And the Rams, 2 weeks ago, we thought were one of the best teams in the NFL. And then they get blown out by the 49ers.
Do you think the Titans broke their soul?
I don't know. And I don't know how much of it is, because I thought it was going to be, a Rams bounce back game where they were pissed after getting beat by the Titans.
So did everybody else.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if the Titans, front four just spooked the crap out of Matthew Stafford and he hasn't gotten over it. Because I feel like that might be a little bit of what Tannehill is dealing with too, is he got hit so many times that now he's just spooked. I don't know if it's the kind of thing where the 49ers were just atrocious. George Kittle is back. They've been able to turn things around. Jimmy G knows that he's playing for his job. So they were like, right, let's get things together. Monday Night Football.
No. Jimmy sucks. I think
I'm just
Marcus.
offering up possible explanations for it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. But I'm just saying that could explain it. I don't know what that was.
You're just throwing all the theories out there.
Yeah, I mean, today is Theory Tuesday.
That is true. If anybody wants to make me smile, make an Odell Beckham Jr. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. The deal of the week is a $30 gift card for only $15 to Brooklyn Bowl. If you feel like snacking, they've got hummus, fried pickles, rock, and roll fries, and more. Roll on over to Brooklyn Bowl starting at 5 p.m. Get your deal now at theGameNashville.com/deals.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Looking at temperatures warming into the upper 60s and lower 70s this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. Another warm day on Wednesday before storms return on Thursday.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month? Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving. Moving, my official movers.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical, regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Darren McFarland and a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it. Willie Donick outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players. Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Do you want a pair of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, February 25th? Head over to YouTube and subscribe to the 1025 The Game YouTube page. You'll enter for your chance to see Dierks Bentley live. Once you subscribe, email us at promotions@cromwellmedia.com with your YouTube handle. One winner will be chosen on Monday, November 22nd. By the way, good to see that more and more people continue to watch the show on YouTube, which I appreciate, and more people watch than they watch Robbie and Rexroad. So I think that's
all that matters at the end of the day.
Say, you know what? Honestly, a little bit. Let's go to your phones on the Tannehill Caucus. How do we feel about Tannehill? Adam is up next. He wants to defend Tannehill. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Adam.
Jared, you hate Tannehill so much.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yeah,
I do not.
It's been for years, all right? So
hold on, wait, Adam, I will let you continue. But let me just state this for the record. Can I speak? Thank you. For the record, I would just like to say, Caroline, how much do I love Tom Brady?
Oh, you love Tom Brady.
Ian, how much do I love Tom Brady?
Too much.
Did I not say Tannehill over Brady, Ian?
I think you did.
Okay. Continue, Adam.
All right, Mr. Wishy-Washy. So let's take you back a little bit further than that. And when they made the swap from Mariota to Tannehill, I'm like, Jared, why can't Tannehill be the guy? Why do you just automatically start talking about draft? You're like, because they paid to get rid of him. So you've always hated him, and that's fine. All right, you hate him. But look, bring it to today. What is the difference? You keep talking about 2 years ago, Tannehill. He does not have a tight end. Jonnu was like his comfort blanket in the end zone.
I think there's some truth to that.
I was talking to Ian about it, and, yeah, he threw a stupid pick the other day. As soon as he threw it, I was like, well, thank God for that bogus penalty because that was a stupid throw. But he doesn't have any weapons around him, man. Even stepping back and looking, what are we going to do moving forward on offense? Are we going to live off of Marcus Johnson? I mean, what's the plan? And I put it on our GM. Yeah, I would put it on the GM before I would Tannehill, and I'm a Tannehill defender, yes, but I would put it on the GM because he didn't even address tight end. I'm sitting here the whole time going, what's he going to do? He must have a plan. He didn't have a plan. His plan was on the roster, and that sucks. So, yeah, I think you're way too critical of him. You always have been.
Thank you for your call. You know, I do wonder what John Robinson's plan at tight end was. Like, I love Robinson, and look, I talked to Robinson earlier today. We taped an interview that's going to be part of the Floyd Reese special on Friday night. And I do wonder, like,
Ferkser?
What was the plan?
Ferkser.
Dude, Paul Kaharski this morning. So he was on with Robbie and Rexroad.
Right.
And by the way, did either of you guys hear the Kaharski-Joe Rexroad conversation?
I did not.
No.
Oh, my God.
Should I go back and listen?
Oh, my God. Kaharski. I mean, like, I got to say this. Those two talking trash at each other, it is highly entertaining.
Better than you and Joe talking trash to each other?
I think
that's
it's
pretty good.
I think it's like more aggressive when it's me and Joe. And I think it's
not more aggressive with Paul?
I think it's like more like, you know, it's more like personal pot shots than it is. It's more like, you know, taking a twig and sticking it in somebody's side than it is like me and Joe just kind of, slapping each other across the face.
Okay, that's fair.
But I
nitpicky.
mean, it was hilarious. And Paul Kaharski today started talking about all the people this offseason that started to think that Anthony Ferkser was a viable option for tight end. And he called Joe a Ferkser worshiper. And I literally laughed out loud. Like, I laughed out loud. The Kaharski interview. And, look, I've had my beefs with Kaharski in the past. I like Kaharski fine. Sometimes I think he likes me fine. Sometimes I think he may not like me.
I'll just never forget the first conversation I ever had with Paul Kaharski.
Oh, yeah, he yelled at me because my car was too nice.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, Caroline, you pay for your car?" And I was like, well, nice to meet you.
Oh, my God. Anywho.
Great guy.
But, well, yeah. But I like the Ferguson worshiping, that was a thing. Now, I'm not saying Joe was doing it because I can't remember if Joe was. And I'd be the first to call Joe out if he did. All I could think of this offseason when people were talking about Ferkser's a starting tight end, all I could think of in my head was the GM being like, Ferkser is a backup. He's not a starter. Well, but he's a backup. That's all I could think about, even though he never said it. That's what he used to say about Dennis Kelly, was he was like, he's a backup. And every time we bring it up, he'd go, he's a backup. And I always felt that way about Ferkser. And I think a lot of people talk themselves into Ferkser being the guy. And I do wonder, did John Robinson talk himself into Ferkser? Because I never considered Ferkser the guy.
Well, I always wondered after the Titans didn't draft a tight end, because I thought it was going to be one of the first.
We're sitting there like
3
tight
or
end,
4
tight
rounds.
end,
Tight end. And there
Dylan Radins. What the?
There were some pretty solid tight ends in this year's draft. So I kept thinking, okay, after the draft, they didn't draft a tight end. I thought, okay, I wonder what their plan for tight end is. And I was like, okay, they're probably just, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. It's July. It's August. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And I was just waiting for some sort of move to be made at tight end. And I remember so many callers, so many texters, so many people on Twitter like, hey, anybody think they're going to maybe make a move for a tight end, perhaps?
There was an Ask the GM I was listening to yesterday. And I forget, Anthony Fasano, that's it. So Anthony Fasano was a pure blocking tight end that was here in 2016, 2017. And Anthony Fasano, somebody called in and said, should the Titans go get Anthony Fasano back and put him on the line to block?
Mm-hmm.
And Floyd was like, he is a great blocker, but I need a guy who can catch the ball and do a little bit more, because you can't tell the defense what you're doing when you put that guy out there and you ask him to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, that's all this team is. That's all this team is. I mean, they throw it to Swaim a little bit, but woof.
2 touchdowns this season.
Oh, boy, that was a beautiful drop on Sunday by Jeff Swaim. 615-737-1025. Have we rolled through the text, or are there?
Oh, there are so many.
All right, we'll roll through your text, because I don't want people to think that we're too cool to take your calls and take your texts. So we'll roll through your text. We'll continue on Stillman & Company right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're always delivered by TriStar Moving. Tune into the Game of the Week, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. The Game of the Week on 102.5 The Game is the Cowboys and the Chiefs with a 3:25 p.m. kickoff. Get excited for that. Stillman & Company, it's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Take us wherever you may go.
There are 2 guys on my untouchable list.
Tune us in anywhere, anytime.
Every team's got those. That's my point.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Want to have the most delicious Thanksgiving meal ever and not deal with the cleanup? Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel will have a family-style meal with a menu that makes your mouth water just thinking about it. Herb butter roasted Joyce Farms turkey breast with gravy, or sorghum glazed ham, smashed Yukon Gold potatoes, biscuits and sage dressing waffles, green bean casserole, and southern corn pudding. Make your Thanksgiving easy this year at Kitchen Notes in the Omni. Go to OpenTable.com and make your reservations now.
Bring home unstoppable comfort with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, we test so it runs. Visit traininfo.com to find your local dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
More than 80% of hospitals and other healthcare employers are now looking to hire nurses holding a bachelor's degree. That's why Aspen University's 3-year accelerated and accredited BSN pre-licensure program is now enrolling with no wait list. Tuition and fees are less than $50,000, and transfer credits are accepted. Want to learn more? Just text STEP to 323232 right now. Most courses are online, and you'll complete your clinicals within our collaborative network of healthcare providers. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. Text STEP to 323232 right now. All clinical simulations and labs are delivered in person while following CDC guidelines for social distancing and masks. If you've thought about becoming a registered nurse, the time is now. Text STEP to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word STEP to 323232 right now. Text STEP to 323232. Total cost of the degree program will vary depending on the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Employment statistics are from the AAC and Research Brief, published in December 2020. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for $60, $70, $100 grand or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
312 Pizza Company is Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria, and they're now hiring. Work for a family-owned business and be a part of their incredible team. 312 Pizza Company is hiring for all positions, including host, waitstaff, bartenders, cooks, and more. 312 Pizza Company offers health insurance and pay time off to full-time employees. Contact Kimberly at 615-730-7888 or email at contact@312pizzaco.com. 312 is an equal opportunity employer.
Signs First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
1025 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So we started the show on the Ryan Tannehill caucus, discussing, what's up with Tannehill. Is Tannehill playing well? Is Tannehill struggling? Why is Tannehill making bad decisions? How worried are we of these decisions? And I feel like it has just turned into this long, big discussion about the Titans, right? Like, it doesn't even feel, you're monitoring the text line.
Uh-huh.
Does it even feel like Tannehill is the subject of the text line anymore? Or does it just seem like, okay, everybody knows the Titans are good. Everybody's happy that they're 8-2. But here's the discussion of the mole on Cindy Crawford's face.
I feel like a lot of the conversation is like the Titans as a whole, and I feel like it's Tannehill's career with the Titans as a whole. It's not necessarily like what Tannehill's doing right now, what Tannehill did last week, what Tannehill's doing this season. It's a lot of let's look back at the past 3 or 4 years and kind of psychoanalyze what Ryan Tannehill is, what was 2020, his real self, was 2019 where he threw 8 interceptions in 10 games, his real self. I feel like it's more of a broad scope of Ryan Tannehill and his career with the Titans.
So I would say this, and this is even bigger than Tannehill. In 2008, when the Titans had the best team in the NFL, and they were 13-3, and they lost in the first round to the Ravens, I was cautiously optimistic as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I just knew, don't play well on a certain day. Like, I knew the team was good, but I knew that they weren't so good that they couldn't get beaten.
Right.
In 2000, when they were 13-3, I thought that they were God's gift to football, and their destiny was to go win the Super Bowl. And they both lost in the divisional round. There's something about this team that, like, and I think I represent how fans feel with this. And correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I love watching this team play. I love how hard they compete. I think they are being coached well right now. I think they've got good leadership. I think they've drawn the right schedule. I am hopeful Derrick Henry comes back. I am encouraged by what the defense has done over the last month. And yet I am scared to death that it's all going to fall apart. And I think that's how most Titan fans feel. And that in the past, and there will always be the diehards, the optimistics who are like, oh, Jared, stop. I know they're 0-6, but if they win the rest of their games, they're going to go to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. But I think the average fan is listening to this, and they're thinking, you know, I love watching the Titans play, but I'm worried the defense is going to revert back to what it was. I'm worried the injuries are ultimately going to be too hard to overcome. I'm worried Derrick's not going to come back. I'm worried Tannehill's throw the ball to the. I think that fans right now, if I was cautiously optimistic in 2008, I'd say I'm excitedly pessimistic in 2021.
Optimistically pessimistic?
No.
Okay.
Like, because I think that's just an oxymoron. I'm excited about the team.
Yeah.
But I'm really nervous. Right?
So cautiously optimistic.
I don't know if that's optimistic.
Cautiously excited?
All right, let's kick it around the room right now. If you had to bet your house, Titans win the Super Bowl or not, yes or no?
No.
Ian?
No.
I'm going to have to vote no, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I hate to say that because it's like, what else do I need to see the Titans do? Go out and beat, some of the best teams in the league? Well, they've done that. And I don't know what it is that's holding me back from thinking that this team can eventually hoist the Lombardi Trophy. I don't know what else I need to see. I don't know if it's that in some of these wins, let's take the Saints game, for example. I mean, they were a boger call away from possibly losing that game.
Though that will happen in every boger game.
And that'll happen. There are going to be calls that go in your favor. There's going to be calls that go against your favor. That's just football. That's just what it is. But it's the fact that it happened. And it went in the Titans' favor. And Ryan Tannehill made a stupid decision and threw a stupid interception, and he got bailed out of it. And that could have been the difference between the game. I don't know what it is that's holding me back from thinking that this team can win the Super Bowl. I just wouldn't bet my non-existent house on it.
It's tough. It's tough. Like, do you think Packer fans think the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Do you think Cardinal fans think the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl?
No.
Do you think, who else? Bills fans?
I think that they are maybe less optimistic that they will win the Super Bowl, but they still think there's a chance.
I'm texting Robbie Stanley right now, and I'm asking him, Robbie Stanley, do you think the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl? I hope he doesn't text back and say, not after you ripped on my power rankings.
I'm not answering your question.
Let's go to your phones. As promised, phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I promised text, and then we got on this rant about optimism, cautious, this, that, or what we got.
Tito in Nolensville says, the problem is Titans fans don't want to face the truth. Tannehill is overrated and not that good. Example, Jared at the beginning of the year saying Kyler Murray is overrated. If I were a Titans fan, I'd rather have Murray over Tannehill.
I mean, look, at the beginning of the year, Jared said, could this be the breakout season for Kyler Murray? That was the discussion on this show.
Yeah, because the question is, would you rather have Kyler Murray right now after what we've seen him be able to do this season, or would you take him after 2020? Because I'd probably take Ryan Tannehill over Kyler Murray after the 2020 season.
Now,
I'd
probably
take Kyler Murray.
Murray. Kyler has played well. Tannehill has not played well. I think it's pretty simple. Tannehill's played okay.
He's been fine. He's been fine. I don't want this to be, taken as a Tannehill hate hour, because that's not it. I don't hate Tannehill.
People think that this is a Tannehill hate show. And it is not. It was the Tannehill over Brady show. And at least one of us would commit to it. The other one on the show was like, Brady's not going to leave New England. That was not putting your foot in the water. I put my foot in the water into Tannehill's water. Robbie Stanley has texted me back. He said, my preseason pick was Packers versus the Titans. Packers winning, so I'm sticking with it.
It's actually not a bad prediction at this point.
I don't know about the AFC. I think the AFC is so average. And yet I'm scared. Every team scares me.
The AFC is cannibalistic. That's exactly what it is.
Every game of a possible division round matchup scares me. New England coming in here scares me. Lamar Jackson coming in here scares me.
Yes.
And they're cheeks. That team.
They are cheeks.
That team.
Take away
cheeks.
Lamar Jackson.
Cheeks.
Okay, I know the Titans, we said it's the same kind of situation. The Ravens not having Lamar.
Sure.
And also the Titans not having Derrick Henry is the same kind of category.
It's not.
And the Titans were able to beat the Rams. And I know after last night, we're probably not as high on the Rams. But I don't think that the Baltimore Ravens can beat the Los Angeles Rams without Lamar Jackson.
So, okay, I'm going to say this. Raiders don't scare me coming in here. Chargers don't really bother me coming in here. Steelers don't really bother me.
I'm a little bit nervous about the Steelers.
Ravens.
Scares me.
Patriots.
Scares me.
Chiefs.
Oh, it scares me.
Bills.
After Sunday, it scares me even more.
Those are the teams that, anytime you bring a great quarterback in the playoffs, it's going to bother me.
Yes.
Which is why the Raiders don't bother me, and it's why the Steelers don't bother me.
And the Chargers. Chargers don't necessarily bother me.
That kid's not there yet.
The Browns don't scare me.
No, Browns aren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Browns, forget about the Browns. That's like the Bengals, the Colts,
the middle of the average teams.
What else we got to text line?
JD texts in and says, I'm very excited about the success we've had so far this year. I'm not excited about how they've done it, and that's what makes me nervous for the long-term success of this team. Can Vrabel keep getting these guys ready for the big moments like Laviolette did for the Preds when they made their deep playoff run? Not sure.
Vrabel did it 2 years ago. Then you just ran into a team that was just simply better than you, tested than you because they had a bye. And I do wonder, will you get the benefit of that on the other side? So say the Titans end up getting the 1 seed, Derek comes back and is rested, you get the bye, then all of a sudden a Ravens team that has no offensive line due to injuries pulls an upset in the first round, comes in here, you just smack them around. Then you get the AFC Championship game, and the top contender, Buffalo's been knocked out. So now in walk who's a team? Patriots. In come the Patriots, but they've been having to play tough games week in, week out this whole run-up, and they're exhausted, and they had to play an extra week that you didn't have to play, and then you knock off the Patriots a la 2019, where you were in the other seat with the Chiefs. I do wonder if that's possible.
But to the texter's point, I think they have a very good point in the fact that I'm excited about the success the Titans have had this year. I'm not excited about the way that they've done it. I think that's a very valid way to feel.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is the NFL. The NFL wants these games to be this way. Jacksonville games are close, and Jacksonville sucks. But they're close for a reason, because that's how the league is designed. So maybe I'm off my rocker here. 615-737-1025. Let's hit the headlines with Caroline and do that next. 615-737-1025. Trevor Maddich later this hour. We've got a condensed show because the Predators play at 6 o'clock tonight, so we're off the air at 5. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. I'm in a good mood. Let's go ahead and give away some Nashville SC tickets. Be caller 5, 615-737-1025, and you'll win 2 tickets to the Audi MLS playoffs as Nashville SC takes on Orlando City SC at Nissan Stadium Tuesday, November 23rd. Go Nashville SC. Stillman and Company, we're delivered by TriStar Moving. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
That's the way to win. Took everybody. We found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Mucinex extended release bilayer tablets allow for immediate and extended release, thinning and loosening mucus and relieving chest congestion for 12 hours. Look for Mucinex, available at Target.
Are you having Thanksgiving at your house but have no furniture and have no clue where to go? Well, Social Furniture is here to help you get your home ready for hosting your family's Thanksgiving dinner with their great dining room sets. Social Furniture is locally owned and save up to 70% on all furniture that will have your family begging to stay. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button, electric, and wall away. They have all colors to choose from, and for your comfort, all of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. Let Social Furniture help you celebrate your Thanksgiving with hundreds of furniture to choose from and save up to 70%. There's no waiting, and take home your new holiday furniture today or with their same-day fine furniture delivery. That's right, Social Furniture has same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Visit Social Furniture in West Nashville at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. On the web at mysocialfurniture.com.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month? Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Hey, this is Jared, the owner of MTGRT.com. Has your lender discussed long-term and short-term total costs? Our goal with our clients is to ensure that they make the best decisions for their situation. Strong analysis ensures you're getting the right loan for you from the get-go. Let us help you make your dream home a reality. Text me on my personal cell today at 615-969-2257 or schedule a time for us to talk online at MTGRT.com.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Montreal Canadiens this Saturday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 p.m. with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beer Cave, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving. Join 1025 The Game this Saturday night for the Bud Light Preds watch party at Headquarters Beer Cave. There'll be great drink specials. You can enter to win Preds tickets to an upcoming home game and watch the Preds take on Le Montreal Canadiens.
One more time.
Le Canadiens de Montreal.
Thank you.
Because you know me, in Montreal.
Yeah,
you know,
big French guy.
So join us this Saturday night at Headquarters Beer Cave, located at 114 2nd Avenue South, downtown. Puck drops at 6 o'clock. So Jim Wyatt sent me this like maybe 20 minutes before we went on air. And I haven't had a chance to read it, but if you go to the Titans website, he's got a sit-down with Sally Reese. And I'm just, kind of trying to read some of the quotes as we go along here. I worry, though, that if I start reading the whole thing, then I'm just going to, lose it. So I'm very interested in looking forward to reading this and would encourage all of you to do the same, because if you know Sally Reese, you know Sally is one of a kind and certainly has been a big part of what we've done around here, without a doubt has been a big part of what we've done around here. And I will say this too, there were football people that were reaching out to me after Floyd died trying to get in touch with Sally, and Sally was talking to all the radio people. And that told me a lot. So with that, it's time for headlines with Caroline.
We're spanning the sports world. It's Headlines with Caroline on Stillman and Company, right here on Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Le'Veon Bell is now on the market. The former Pro Bowl running back was released by the Baltimore Ravens today. He took to Twitter and said, "This hurts, but it's been a blessing to be here, to say the least. I've enjoyed every second of this short period and got a whole new meaning of what the city is like, and it's a great place to be." So Le'Veon Bell, not necessarily any sort of career highlights in Baltimore. Averaged career worst, 2.5 yards a carry, 83 yards and 31 attempts. He only scored 2 touchdowns. His best game with the Ravens was Week 9. He only produced 48 rushing yards.
So here's my thing about Le'Veon Bell. A couple years ago, remember when Le'Veon Bell held out and he was like, "No, I'm not going to play on this $14.7 million franchise tag. I'm going to show people." And then so he sat out a whole year, and then he came back and he signed with the Jets, and it was like, see? But it was really like probably what he would have gotten on the market had he played a year and then gone to the market. And I will never forget Floyd saying he thinks he's sticking it up the Steelers' keister, but he's costing himself money he will never get back. And he's never going to get that $14 million back. And here he is. He can't even be on a practice squad right now. I don't think he'll be on a practice squad.
Probably not, when the only reason why he was brought in by the Ravens was because 3 of their running backs were hurt. And I think he was the second or third running back that they acquired. He was not their first option.
And let me use this as another opportunity to educate here. Le'Veon Bell's career is probably over, right?
Near over.
Go smoke all that pot you want to, Le'Veon, because remember when he was getting suspended when he was at Pittsburgh because he couldn't stop smoking pot?
Yep.
I mean, someone just said, Le'Veon, by the time you're retired, pot will pretty much be legal around the country anyways.
So just hold off.
So just make
save
your
that
money.
$14 million.
Go make the $14 million, and then you can shove it to the man after you're done playing with your extra $15 million bucks and smoke as much pot as you want.
Put that in smoke it.
But he couldn't do it. So
I mean, he's
at least he left with class, which has not been something that has been.
He was incredibly kind and gracious whenever he was leaving, but he's made several questionable decisions in his career. But I mean, I'm not here to judge his decision making. You think the Titans are going to make a run for Le'Veon Bell?
No!
Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson in the backfield for the Tennessee Titans, and it is year 2014.
I think this, though. I think Adrian Peterson being on this team is good for the team. Like, even when Derek comes back.
He's a veteran presence who's had a ton of success, a future Hall of Famer.
He's got good attitude, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you listen to him talk.
Hard worker.
Like, Adrian Peterson, I think, is good for the team. Le'Veon may not be bad for the team anymore, but I'm not sure Le'Veon's good for the team. So, no. What's next?
Didn't take Cam Newton very long to make his impact on the Carolina Panthers for the second time in his career. Scored touchdowns on his first 2 plays Sunday in their 34-10 victory over the Arizona Cardinals, only their second loss on this season. Cam Newton said, "No disrespect to them, but I'm just floating at an all-time high frequency. It's almost scary," which that does scare me a little bit. I don't really know what that means, but it scares me a little bit. But if he does well, according to an NFL source, and this was published by ESPN.com, the Panthers will attempt to re-sign him to be their starter in 2022. So that would make Sam Darnold guaranteed $18.5 million next season. That'll make Sam Darnold the highest paid backup in the league.
Do you know any Panther fans?
I know a few, because I know a few people from Carolina that I went to school with. My sister went to South Carolina, so she has a bunch of friends from Carolina. But, I know a few.
Ian, do you have any Panther friends?
I do not.
If I was a fan and I heard that my team, if I heard that this offseason my team was interested in going after Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
And now I'm being told that my team might sign Cam Newton.
Deshaun Watson is way worse, though.
No, but the Deshaun Watson thing was before and then it came back even after. But Cam Newton is awful. He's awful. There was not another team in the league that was interested in bringing Cam in. He's awful.
Sam Darnold isn't that great either.
It doesn't matter.
No, I know, but I'm saying this.
Go get a quarterback.
This potential quarterback core in Carolina is going to be probably the highest paid quarterback duo in the league.
And the crappiest.
And probably the crappiest. I mean, excluding the Houston Texans. But, I mean.
Wait a minute. Who's reporting that a league source said that they're going to try to resign?
This was an ESPN.com. I don't remember who wrote it, but it was an ESPN.com article that said a league source said they are considering bringing him back in 2022.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God it's not my team. Oh, God. You know what's funny is that owner. This is what I love about owners. This is what's gonna change about sports, right? Like your average owner is like 80 years old, rich, and kind of hands off, right?
Yes.
Like doesn't know
except
anything,
for one.
And right, Jerry.
Yes.
But what you're gonna get,
but he's 80 years old,
is now all these guys are spending like $4.5 billion to buy a team. They're saying that if the Broncos go to market, because it looks like they might because of all the infighting from Pat Bolin's kids, if the Broncos go to market, they think that the Broncos could fetch $10 billion. And I think Tepper bought the Panthers for $3.5.
My God.
But what happens is these guys like Steve Ballmer, who way overpaid to get the Clippers, is these guys, they buy these things like toys. Like they buy them and they want to run them. And they want to, and this Tepper in Carolina, he's the same way. And like they say, hey, Tepper's the one who wants him to go get a quarterback. Tepper's the one who wants him to go get Deshaun Watson. Tepper, I guarantee you Tepper's the one who okayed Newton. And now they win a game, and here's Tepper, and I don't even know what the guy does for a living, but here's Tepper probably telling people, hey, Cam looked pretty good last week. I think Cam can go out there and win us a title. Go sign Cam back. Like, dude, you bought the team, then you cut Cam.
And he played one game. That's the craziest thing is either how dumb can you be to be swayed by one game? And I don't know, exactly the inner workings of exactly what that league source said. But are you going to be swayed by one game? Or are you that low on Sam Darnold? Is Sam Darnold really that bad that you're going to pay him almost $20 million to sit on your bench because you don't want him to play that badly and you're going to bring back a guy that you cut?
Why did you pick up the option? You didn't have to pick up the fifth-year option. Why did you pick up the fifth-year option? I don't know. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is what happens for all the people like, I'm a Braves fan. Liberty Media owns the Braves. A lot of Braves fans don't like it because they're, pretty corporate and cutthroat. And
right.
The Braves might lose Freddie Freeman over it. Like, this is the other side of it. This is Johnny Fanboy with $5 billion buying a team.
The owner of the Mets.
Bringing Cam Newton. Like that. Cam Newton.
Panther Nation.
You know what I love? Belichick pays him a league minimum last year. Starts a quarterback. Cam Newton gets cut by Belichick. Picked up by nobody. Carolina signs him for more than league minimum.
I have no idea.
What are these people doing?
I have no idea.
Unbelievable. Trevor Maddich will join us coming up next, ESPN college football analyst. What did he make of it this weekend? And the Vols, moral victory maybe? What does Trevor think? We'll do that coming up next. Right here, Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Moving, my official movers. I absolutely love my friends at TriStar Moving. They do a fantastic job, and I've been telling you about TriStar Moving for over a year now. When I moved, it was an absolute breeze thanks to the high standard that TriStar Moving holds. That's TriStar Moving with 5-star service. All of my furniture, everything was taken care of perfectly, including both of my homes, my old home and my new home. The owners, Garrett and Robert, are true Nashvillians who truly care about helping their hometown. They have a brand new state-of-the-art storage facility in Mount Juliet as well. If you're looking to move, give my friends at TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit their website at nashvillemoving.org/radio, where they'll give you 5% off your entire move. That's TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, nashvillemoving.org/radio. Tell them Jared Stillman sent you for 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Titans, Texans. The two-tone blue look to take care of business at home against Houston. Tune in Sunday at 9:30 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard.
I would quadruple team A.J. Brown.
I'm so proud of this team. The Titans aren't going to just junk the running game.
Live from Rock Bottom Restaurant and Brewery on Broadway. We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Get ready for 3 Dog Night. Live in concert November 24th at Ryman Auditorium, celebrating over 50 years of 3 Dog Night. See the band that had 21 consecutive top 40 hits. Sing along to all the hits you know and love. Tickets are on sale now at Ryman.com. Sponsored by PNC Bank, proud partner of Ryman Auditorium.
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations: Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Tune in to Stillman and Company every Friday at 5 o'clock.
I am glad to be on this show.
To hear from Nashville sports media personality Chad Withrow of Outkick 360.
He's 6'4", he's 260 pounds, he runs 21 miles per hour.
Brought to you by Apple Collision Centers.
This could be the best game of the weekend between these two teams.
Withrow joins Stillman and Company Fridays at 5.
Happy to join you guys every Friday.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Rick Stockstill, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving. The rankings are coming out tonight. We will get Trevor Matich's opinion on these rankings, but I personally am not going to get too invested one way or another. I'm done worrying about the WWWCFP. Or are there only 2 W's?
WWE. CFP.
2 W's.
Yeah.
World Wide Web is 3 W's.
Yes, that is a website.
WWCFP, I'm done worrying about them. Did you see the AP drop Cincinnati below Alabama?
Yeah.
I'm like, you posers.
Like, the AP to me just doesn't really matter anymore.
Oh, awful. Trevor Matich joins us now, brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters. Trevor, let's start with that Vols game on Saturday. I think Tennessee fans got their hopes up going into the game thinking, hey, with our offense, Georgia hasn't seen anything like this all year. And I think they pretty much got sledgehammered. And yet I don't think it's the end of the world for Tennessee. In fact, I think that even though they got sledgehammered by Georgia, maybe it was a moral victory. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I don't think they got sledgehammered on offense. I mean, the defense has been giving up some points. They gave up 45 to Kentucky the week before in a win. So, I mean, the defense has a tendency to give up some points from time to time. But I think the offense was where everybody was excited to see how they would measure up against Georgia. And, they had one turnover, sack fumble, inside the 10-yard line going in that took away an opportunity for points. They had an interception that Georgia ended up scoring off of. But even with that, they scored more points against Georgia than anybody else has this year. I mean, the most anybody scored against the Bulldogs has been 13. Tennessee scored 17. And if they wouldn't have had that fumble inside the 10, even if they don't score a touchdown, they get a field goal, they would have scored 20. So they moved the ball. You know, they had pretty good stats. They just weren't good enough to be able to deal with the Georgia defense overall. You know, they had really good third down efficiency, Tennessee did. But overall, they're just not on Georgia's level yet. Even so, I don't see it as a moral victory, but I see it as a sign of encouragement that they did better against the Bulldogs defense than anybody else has this year so far.
So, yes and no. I mean, I felt like in the first half, Tennessee played the kind of game that I thought they were going to have to play early in order to at least make it competitive with Georgia. And I'm with you. I think Georgia, somebody on Twitter said to me the other day, like, okay, you take Georgia and I'll take the field. And I'm like, okay. Like, I will take the Bulldogs. I don't think they're getting beat this year. But I felt like Tennessee needed a punch back at the second. They scored, and then Georgia scored, and then I think it was, 10-10, or it was, and I'm like, Tennessee has got to understand that you've got to put pressure on Georgia, and they just weren't able to do it. I thought Heupel got them some open looks, but I think at the end of the day, the Georgia defense was just too good. Either that or Tennessee couldn't step up if they really wanted to make it a competitive game.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. Tennessee did have some options. I mean, we saw the old bugaboo of overthrowing some receivers down the field. Probably better to overthrow them against Georgia than to underthrow them where the ball would be in position to be picked off. So I get it that you're erring on the side of safety, but there were still more opportunities to get stuff done. But it was the way that first drive for Tennessee played out that I really liked. I mean, it was a touchdown drive right out of the gate, and it was a 10-play, 77-yard drive. And you would think that would happen because Tennessee completed some balls deep down the field, because nobody's been able to grind out long drives against Georgia, but they did. That 10-play drive, the longest play was only 14 yards. And so they ground it out, right? And I thought, wow, this is really good. And you got to figure that Georgia came into the game thinking that they were going to take away the deep pass first, which they kind of did. Because Tennessee didn't really have a lot of success throwing the ball down the field. But on that first drive, they were very successful in taking what the defense gave them. And so, you know, even though they didn't win the game, I mean, to be able to execute a drive like that against Georgia, they should not be proud of themselves so much, but have confidence that if they can do it once against Georgia, they can do it a lot of times against most people.
Trev, it does feel like Tennessee is going to win the games against South Alabama and Vanderbilt, be 7-5, go to a bowl game. Could you have asked anything more of Josh Heupel this year?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And plus that win against Kentucky, ranked 18th at the time, that's just massive as well. And this is a team that lost, 28 guys to the portal just the end of last year, including some of the best players that they had. I mean, Henry To'o, 5-star linebacker, goes off to Alabama. Quavarius Crouch, another highly recruited linebacker, goes off to Michigan State. A couple of guys go off to be key performers at Oklahoma, right? Best running back at the time goes off to, North Carolina. And so they lost a ton of key players off of last year's team to the portal, and still they're in position now to make a bowl game. Still, they were in a position to showcase an offense that should be attractive to recruits. Now, right now, the recruiting class, I haven't looked at it. Last I saw, it was not in the top 30, so they need to pick up the pace on that. But I think in the transfer portal, they'll have a chance to bring in some more key players. I mean, Bayless Jones came in through the portal, and Henry Hooker came in through the portal, and some other people. So they got some, even though they lost some. But I think the model is Michigan State, where Coach Mel Tucker has 40 guys on that team. They weren't on the team last year. Some were recruits, and a lot of them were out of the portal. And the way he did it should be a model for everybody in college football, but now Tennessee as well, because what they've done so far this year should be attractive for quarterbacks and receivers especially to come to the Volunteers and take part in this offense, because now they don't have to wonder if this offense is a place where they can put up a bunch of numbers. They already know it because they've seen it in the first season.
Trevor, is there any team in the country that can beat Georgia?
I'll give you two. I think there are two that have a chance if they're playing their best game. Alabama, if they're playing their best game, can. Alabama's running attack is 10th in the SEC in terms of yards per game and yards per rush. So it's okay. It's not great, maybe less than okay. But Bryce Young in the passing attack has stepped up and filled the void, even though the receivers for Alabama this year are nowhere near the group that they had last year, not even close. They still have a couple of guys, including Jamison Williams, transfer to Alabama from Ohio State. So, but Alabama on offense has a chance to move the ball. And on defense, if they're playing at their highest level, they have the kind of players that can really disrupt the Georgia defense. I mean, Will Anderson is second in my Heisman vote right now. You know, for me, I'm in my top 4 guys. Will Anderson is number 2, linebacker for Alabama, who leads the nation in sacks and tackles for loss, even though he was banged up early in the season. That's the kind of defender you need to put, you know, Stetson Bennett and that Georgia offense behind the chain. So Alabama's one, if they're playing at the highest level on both sides of the ball. Another one is Ohio State. The Buckeyes defense, not their strength. It's at best, it's pretty good. But the offense at their best is perfectly matched, better than Alabama, to deal with Georgia, because the Buckeye offensive line has a whole bunch of NFL guys on it. They've got one of the best running backs in the country in Travion Henderson. They've got the deepest, most talented, most explosive groups of wide receivers in the country, right? The best group of wide receivers are the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in C.J. Stroud, they've got a quarterback that's shown that he can get him the ball. And so that is what you need, that kind of balance to be able to move the ball and score against the Georgia defense. And Ohio State, if the offense is playing at its best, has the best chance in the country. So I give the Buckeyes and the Crimson Tide are really the only teams that would be able to do it.
Dan Mullen going to get fired at Florida?
Yeah. And that
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think he might. If not this year, then maybe next. And the reason is that it seems like they've lost half the team, right? The defense has not been good this year, and they fired the defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, right? Then came
everybody fired Todd Grantham.
Yeah, right. I don't know why they brought him in for actually, but then you've got the Sanford game, and that is a massive problem for Dan Mullen, because Sanford is a $500,000 paycheck game that they bring in to just get an easy win, and they get to play a bunch of young guys, and everything is great, right? That's not the way that it turned out. They gave up 52 points to Sanford. I think 42 of them in the first half. Mm-hmm. You don't do that because Sanford is so good. Sanford's got a losing record this year, I think. You do that because your defense just doesn't care. And that tells you that they don't have any leadership in the locker room on top of issues with talent on defense. Now, the offense came through. They scored 70 points. All right, so good for them. They scored 70. They ought to score 70 if they need to play 4 full quarters, which they kind of did. But the defense looked like they quit. And that's a problem for the coach, right? It's one thing to not have the talent, to have injuries, to have issues with the staff, all those things. But if you lose the team from a standpoint of half of them quit on you, then it's hard to keep your job as a head coach. Now, I hope they do keep him. I hope they do give him another year to kind of get this thing turned around, because I do think he's a very, very good coach. But the biggest sin a coach could make is to lose a large portion of the locker room, and that Sanford game made it seem like he lost the defense.
Wow. So Justin Fuente gets fired at Virginia Tech. LSU's already open. There looks like there's going to be some other jobs that come open. What does Trevor think the coaching carousel is going to look like? We'll get into that next. Trevor Matters, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. When experience matters. Let me tell you about Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. I love those guys at Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. They do a fantastic job. They have taken great care of my home for years, and they can do the exact same for you. Hiller wants to give away cash for the holidays, and they're celebrating from now until the end of the year with special deals. They want to make sure that every child experiences the joy of Christmas this year, so they're donating $50 in Toys for Tots with every tankless water heater purchase, and they're giving away a $250 Visa gift card with each unit. Get a $500 Visa gift card when you buy select new HVAC systems, or get a $500 Visa gift card with the purchase of any new whole home generator. More specials are online at happyhiller.com. As always, happy you'll be, or the service is free. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. These deals are only available until the end of the year, so schedule today. Hiller, call the Happy Face truck today.
Signs First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Hey parents, good news. Kids ages 5 to 11 are eligible for a COVID vaccine. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Warmer start this morning with temperatures in the 40s on our way to highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s under mostly cloudy skies with a few sprinkles possible midday.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
More than 80% of hospitals and other healthcare employers are now looking to hire nurses holding a bachelor's degree. That's why Aspen University's 3-year accelerated and accredited BSN pre-licensure program is now enrolling with no wait list. Tuition and fees are less than $50,000 and transfer credits are accepted. Want to learn more? Just text STEP to 323232 right now. Most courses are online and you'll complete your clinicals within our collaborative network of healthcare providers. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. Text STEP to 323232 right now. All clinical simulations and labs are delivered in person while following CDC guidelines for social distancing and masks. If you've thought about becoming a registered nurse, the time is now. Text STEP to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word STEP to 323232 right now. Text STEP to 323232. Total cost of the degree program will vary depending on the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Employment statistics are from the AACN Research Brief published in December 2020. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
If you snore, it may be a sign of a more serious, possibly life-threatening condition. Most people think of snoring as a nuisance, but it's a much more serious medical condition than you think. Snoring has been associated with chest pain, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, chronic pain, obesity, headaches, and sore throat. Take a listen to what some of our patients are saying about the revolutionary Vivo system.
Right after I started using it, I noticed the results really, especially with the snoring. My sleep apnea episodes are a fraction of what they were before. This product's phenomenal. It changed my life.
I am 100% happy that I did this, and I'm thankful every day that I have it.
If you're curious about our sleep devices, call now for a sleep consultation. Don't let your spouse have to sleep in the guest room, and don't risk the severe health complications of snoring and sleep apnea.
Dr. Kelly Rice is certified to provide the Vivo system to open the airway for a better night's sleep. Call 615-373-4488 or go to BrentwoodSleepApnea.com now to see which therapy can work best for you.
Individual results may vary. Always seek the advice of your health provider with any questions regarding a medical condition.
Robbie Stanley.
Maybe it doesn't hurt their bottom line this year. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen on that front.
Joe Rexrode.
5 guys who are on the roster are not going to be on the roster.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. Trevor Maddich is our guest, ESPN college football analyst. Trev, Justin Fuente relieved of his duties at Virginia Tech today. I mean, I feel like every day now a coach gets fired in college football. This feels like it is not something that, oh my God, can you believe so-and-so? I feel like someone's getting fired all the time now. I think the expectations are too high. The salaries are ridiculous. And here we are with the hottest coach on the market from 3 or 4 years ago, and now he's back on the market. We talked about Florida and Dan Mullen, what's going to happen there. LSU is open. What do we make of kind of all these openings around college football, and who are some of the realistic targets for these fan bases that just absolutely positively have to go have a winner?
Well, how about Josh Heupel? Hey, he actually might be a hot commodity here before too long if he keeps this going up. But there has been, and I'm actually not even being facetious about that, but I read an article that said that since 2010, college programs have paid out over $500 million in dead money to coaches that are no longer coaching there, right? Buyouts and things like that. $500 million. And so they really want to win, and they really think the next guy is the guy. And everybody points to what Scott Frost did in USF, right? When they went from 0-12 to 12-0 just a couple of years later. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you and I have talked about, Jared, a lot about the need for continuity, and that it's good to get the next new hot name, but it usually is better to maintain continuity. And if you need to tweak assistants, tweak assistants. And if coaches are always playing for their job this year, then how does that change the way they coach and the way they recruit, right? And how does that harm the long-term prospects for the next coach that comes in? So there's all kinds of stuff going on, right? But when it comes to, the big coaching names, and we can talk about that, I guess, in a second if you want to, but, LSU to me is an interesting concept, because if you look at all the jobs that are available, you can make the case that LSU is the best, because each of the last three coaches there won the national championship there as a coach. Mm-hmm. And two of them hasn't come close to that kind of success except for at LSU, Les Miles and Ed Orgeron. Obviously, Nick Saban went on to greatness at Alabama. He's the third one. But LSU, because of where they are, the recruiting, the commitment, all the rest of it, seems to be a place that should be the hottest of all the places for the hottest prospects to be considering.
Trev, what do you make of who LSU is going to go get? I mean, there's a buddy of mine used to work there, and he's convinced Lincoln Riley's going to be their next coach. I think that's wild. But, I mean, I don't see any great candidates that are out there.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, the head coach at Oklahoma, I mean, it's possible. I would tend to think he would stay at Oklahoma since he'll be in the SEC coming up here. And he's got it rolling right now. I mean, right now, this year, they're struggling. Hey, they lost the game. Ooh, right? But I don't know that Lincoln Riley would see the grass greener because he thinks he can win a national championship right where he is, especially if he goes into the SEC. So, there's always the risk if you got it going on where you are that you'll go to a new place and be the guy that has the pressure on you. See, Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma could have a few subpar years in a row. As long as he brings it back up again, he won't be in any danger of being fired. But at LSU, you can win a national championship, and 2 years later, you can be fired. At Auburn, you can win a national championship, and a couple of years later, you're fired. Happened to Gene Chizik, right? And so, I don't know that Riley would want to do that. There's a lot of talk about Jimbo Fisher, the Texas A&M coach, and about how LSU could lure him over there. But he's already making $9 million a year. He just has signed an extension. And he made the statement that with the recruiting class that he has coming in, which is one of the best in the country, he said he'd have to be the dumbest human being alive to leave that recruiting class at A&M and go compete against those guys at LSU. And so I don't know that he'll come. One of the hot names for every new job is Luke Fickell of Cincinnati, who would be a great coach in a lot of places. But with Cincinnati moving into the Big 12 in a couple of years, I don't see any reason why Luke Fickell would want to leave the good thing that he's got going on and go into a pressure cooker where he's got no goodwill built up yet. So, there's pros and cons for all these coaches, but, some of the biggest names I think have no desire to leave and no reason to leave.
What do you think the WWCFP does tonight?
The WWCFP, I went on ESPN a couple of times in a couple of places and said what I've told you, that I respect the committee, but I hate their spreadsheet because I think they give too much credence to things other than what matter most. And to me, what matters most is conference championship and head-to-head among teams that have the same record. And, I was wrong when I thought that they had Oregon ahead of Ohio State because of Oregon's head-to-head win over the Buckeyes in week 2, and that's the reason that the first ranking had Oregon ahead of Ohio State. I thought it was the respect in the head-to-head. It wasn't, because the next week they had Michigan ahead of Michigan State with the same record, even though Michigan State had beat Michigan head-to-head just a few weeks before that. So it's hard to say what the committees are going to do. I just wish they would value other things more than the things that they currently value. So, I'm guessing that what they'll do is what they did last week. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of difference. And really, my top 4 is the same as the committees right now: Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State. A lot of this stuff will take care of itself. They've got Cincinnati at number 5, and I'm fine with that. The thing, though, that I think is going to be interesting is now that Michigan State has lost, and they got bounced out of the top 4, And Oklahoma has lost. They were only at number 8, but they were in position to get into the top 4 if they were undefeated all the way through because of a backloaded schedule and the juice that they would get with that. Cincinnati obviously benefits, but don't sleep on Notre Dame. Notre Dame was 9 in last week's ranking. We'll see what they do tonight with the Irish. But because of Oklahoma's loss and because Ohio State still plays Michigan and Michigan State, who are above Notre Dame right now, I think if Oregon takes a loss, so they play at Utah this week, they could very well lose there. And if the SEC only puts one team in, which would happen if Georgia wins convincingly in the SEC championship game, you could have Notre Dame, that people have not been thinking about as a playoff team since they lost to Cincinnati, take advantage of the hot mess chaos that's going to happen ahead of them and be in the playoff with Cincinnati. That is on deck right now.
Trev, what do you think ultimately will happen to Notre Dame now that the safety is out and Brian Kelly pretty much said he's probably out for the season? Will that knock them down, and will that take Cincinnati down?
No, I don't think they put that into their spreadsheet. And I think it should not Cincinnati down because they played with that safety, Kyle Hamilton, there. They played against a relatively healthy Notre Dame team, although really all season long Notre Dame's had issues with young tackles and injured tackles and that kind of a thing. But I don't think the committee is going to respect Cincinnati's head-to-head win over Notre Dame. The good thing for Cincinnati is that Notre Dame doesn't have any juice left in the schedule to be able to jump above Cincinnati, who also doesn't have any juice left in the schedule. So you'd have to just be the pure eye test. I mean, right now Notre Dame has Georgia Tech and Stanford to finish up the season in no conference championship game. And so Cincinnati still has to worry about Notre Dame jumping over them if the committee thinks that they have the same record, they both finished with one loss, and the committee thinks that Notre Dame is just a better team, right? The almighty spreadsheet overrules head-to-head among team with the same record. Let's assume Cincinnati wins out. They still have to play SMU. They still have to play Houston in the conference championship game. It's going to be hard for them to win out. But ultimately, what Notre Dame needs is to join Cincinnati in the top 4 if Cincinnati doesn't lose a game. And even if they do, it'll be tough. But they need to join Cincinnati in the top 4. But if the SEC puts in only one team, the Big Ten puts in only one team, and then Oregon gets knocked out, so the Pac-12's out, further cannibalization in the Big 12, so they don't put a team in, and the ACC is already out, there are now 2 spots available. And if Cincinnati and Notre Dame win out, those are the 2 teams at 3 and 4. Now, for Notre Dame, I don't know if that's a good thing because then they end up playing Georgia probably in the first round of the playoffs and get smoked. But at least they get there.
Trevor Maddich, ESPN college football analyst, looking good on SportsCenter, by the way, Trevor, over the weekend. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Jared.
Yep, Trevor Maddich, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. When experience matters. I love Trevor. I'm not sure I followed there at the end. About all the moving around and the jumping this and the jumping that and the jumping and
Well, I was trying to kind of make my own like CFP predictions, what's going to shift after last week, what happened this week. But it is so difficult because, at the top, all of these teams are winning. So you just have to, okay, what did this team do last week? And then what did the team that they beat, what are they looking like? And they only beat them by 7, but this team beat this other team by 20. It's a lot. It's a lot of back and forth.
FanDuel Sportsbook is my official sportsbook app. By the way, coming up next, that Monday Night Football game last night.
Oof.
How do we feel about the Rams win now? We'll discuss. FanDuel Sportsbook is my official sportsbook app. Hey, turn every Tuesday into a payday with TNT Tuesdays on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Tuesday. Just bet $10 or more on a same-game parlay with any NBA on TNT game. So you got so many money line options. You got over, under, point spread. You can root for your favorite players, and it's a chance to put down a small bet and win big. It's the perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time score. And when you win, you're guaranteed to get $10 added to your account. It's easy to use. It's easy to register. You got odds boosts and specials and live betting. When you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. Get $10 back every Tuesday, win or lose, with TNT Tuesdays. If you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with the promo code JGM to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and make every moment more this NBA season. That's promo code JGM exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
The voice of reason.
If I'm the official, I would send both teams to the locker room and say, this is going to stop.
The voice of the fan.
Our entire team's a mass unit right now.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics is conveniently located where you live and work. With over 10 locations in Nashville and surrounding communities, Houston physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, as well as many other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they are strictly adhering to all CDC guidelines for both their patients and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and to see a list of all Houston physicians and specialties, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Since their doors opened in 1898 in England, Arkansas, Bank of England Mortgage has been providing down-home exceptional service. Bank of England's success is due to the talent of their loan officers and their access to hundreds of mortgage products at the industry's best pricing. Bank of England Mortgage has 3 Middle Tennessee locations ready to serve you. Go to BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
1025 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Karen Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. How about that Monday night football game last night?
It's pretty gross.
So we were coming back from Murfreesboro, so I got home around like 6:50, right?
I was not far off of that, yeah.
So the game's coming on. I got all this other stuff going on because it's Floyd week, and I got, it's wild. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I look up at the TV, and it's 14-0 San Francisco. And I'm like, what? What happened?
What just happened there?
And, I mean, San Francisco never let up. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo looked like he was having the time of his life on the football field.
Well, I saw that first touchdown. I think it was Jimmy G to George Kittle, and I thought, okay, now it's time. The Rams are about to open up a can of whoop ass.
And they did not.
They did not.
They looked terrible.
Yes, they did.
And I'm watching this game.
They looked unorganized, rattled.
And now we picked the Rams to go out there and spank the 49ers yesterday.
We
so,
did.
I mean, who are we to judge?
And I was ripping on Vegas for, having such a pathetic line.
But I'm watching this game, and all I can think about is 2 weeks ago on the TD Power Hour when TD was like, Rams and Cowboys are the best team in the NFC, bar none. And I was like, well, what about? Nope. And, TD laughed about it last week. But I'm watching this game, and I picked the Rams to smoke the 49ers. So who am I to judge?
I did too.
But I'm sitting there like, TD, what happened to your Rams? And I asked the question last night. Did the Titans break the Rams' soul? Or are the Rams really not that good? Because one thing that we asked before the Titans played the Rams was this sense of, who have they beaten? They beat Tampa at home by 10 like a month and a half ago. But other than that, who have they beaten? They had beaten the Lions, and they had beaten the Texans, and they hadn't beaten anybody. And I get it, the NFL, you don't pick your schedule. But they played one good team other than Tampa Bay. Arizona, they got smoked. And they got embarrassed. And I loved every second of it. Matthew Stafford was like, when they traded for Matthew Stafford, it was like, here comes the Super Bowl. And I was like, wait a minute. If Stafford was this good, then Detroit would have, won a playoff game while he was there. I get it. It's a horribly run organization. Bad coach after bad coach. Bad GM after bad GM. He had the best wide receiver in football for 8 years. Then he retired. So I get it. But the idea that Stafford to L.A. was like Brady to Tampa, I never bought. I never once believed that. And then Stafford was cooking, and it looked like, okay, this might be a pretty good team. They've gotten smoked on national TV 2 games in a row. Now, they've got Von Miller, and they've got Odell Beckham, but it almost feels like the way the Titans have Julio Jones and Adrian Peterson. So I asked this question. Is the win against the Rams, which we were riding high on, is the win against the Rams now diminished because the Rams didn't look very good against the Titans and looked like hot garbage last night on Monday Night Football? Or did the Titans just break the Rams? What do we think?
Well, and that is a legitimate argument that was made going into the Titans game against the Rams was, okay, who have they beaten? But we looked at their schedule, and all of the teams that they had beaten, I would say majority of them, they boat raced them. I don't know the scores in the specific games off the top of my head, but it was like a 38-10 type of beatdown week in and week out. So, I attributed it to it's the NFL, and you play who's on your schedule. I think the Titans did a little bit of damage to the Rams. And I
mental or physical damage?
Mental. I think they did a little mental damage to Matthew Stafford. I think that after that first week, Ryan Tannehill had a little bit of mental damage done to him by Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. And I think we've started to see that come to fruition throughout the rest of this season, is that Ryan Tannehill is so sick and tired of being pancaked that he is throwing the ball errant places and places that he would not normally throw them because he's so spooked. The Titans were all over Matthew Stafford. And I think that may have been a little bit of a lingering fear, because I fully expected for the Rams to come out, say, this is our second shot in a row on national television, and we're going to come out and we are going to be angry and we are going to take advantage of playing a team that's really not that great. And they didn't do that. I think there is a little bit of truth that the Titans may have done a little something to their mentals, but I do think also the Rams were a smidge overrated because they had only played kind of crap teams.
So I think the Rams are soft. Like, I know this is going to sound crazy. I think the Rams are soft. And I think that they've gotten embarrassed. Like, I think the Titans, when I asked you if it was mental or if it was physical, I'm going to say it's both, but it was the way that they got smacked on the line.
Mm-hmm.
The way that the Titans' defensive line just dominated that Rams' offensive line. The interior of their offensive line is not very good. Their tackle's 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. I think it is that once you punch the Rams in the mouth, they got a lot of flashy names. But do they have tough players? Like Stafford, I will say this. Over the years, I think Stafford's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Stafford a lot of credit because he's taken a lot of pain over the years in Detroit. But other than that, it's the flashy L.A. Rams. They love the names. Von Miller and Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp and Tyler Hibbert. They love the name.
Aaron Donald.
L.A., they love it all.
I mean, Aaron Donald's tough as a tough man.
And I just think that the Rams, if you punch them square in the jaw, the Rams don't respond. And so I look at this, and I'm not taking away from the Titans' win.
I don't think you should.
In the NFL, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not college football where it's like, well, they were 13 then, but now they're not ranked. Not sure that matters in college football or in pro football. But, boy, I don't think a lot of the Rams right now. I really don't. You know, they played the Colts. They won that game by 3. Jacob Eason had to come in at quarterback and save their bacon. I don't know. I do not know. There is a feeling I have about this Rams team that I look at them as a team. They're going to have to go on the road now in the playoffs because Arizona's going to win that division. And they're going to have to go on the road right away. So they're going to have to start the playoffs either at Tampa Bay, so they're going to have to fly across the country, at Arizona, or at Dallas. I don't see them winning any of those games.
It's the kind of thing that if I see them kind of respond the same way in this next game, because I'm not going to commit to any team being anything until I see it multiple times. If I see them still not being able to recoup and respond after the Titans loss and after this 49ers loss, if they keep getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down, I think I'm with you. I fully expected an angry Rams team, a Rams team ready to come back out and prove themselves as one of the better teams, if not the best team in the NFC. And I think that says a lot about them that they weren't able to do it. Because on paper, I think the Rams have a whole heck of a lot more talent than the 49ers do. 49ers have some great players. 100%. But the Rams should have won that game last night. And they got stomped.
Either that or the Rams suck. Again.
I'm not ready to say that the Rams suck.
2 weeks in a row and the Rams have not looked good.
I'm not ready to say
they
that they
have not
suck.
looked good at all.
I'm not ready to say that Matthew Stafford
What's the rest
is not.
of their schedule?
The rest of their schedule?
Yes, I know they play the Ravens. I think the Ravens kind of suck. You know, the Ravens have had 2 weeks in a row where I've been very impressed by Baltimore.
So the Rams have a bye. Oh, not a bye. I'm sorry. They played last night. No, they do have a bye this week. And then they play the Packers, Jags, Cardinals, Seahawks, Vikings, Ravens. That's a tough rest of their schedule.
We're going to find out if they're cheeks real quickly. We're going to find out real quickly about the Rams.
I love your new use of the word cheeks.
I've been watching the morning show too much. I wake up and I just put on YouTube.
But other than the Jags, every single one of those games, and maybe the Vikings are also kind of cheeks. They've got a tough schedule. Packers on the road.
But we're taking nothing away from the Titans win.
I'm taking nothing away from the Titans win because going into that game, we still thought that they were one of the best, if not the best teams in the NFC.
Ian, are you taking anything away from the Titans win?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that'd be fair to the Titans to do that.
No, they played well. The defense played well. This is back-to-back pick sixes for Stafford, though. So, and they did lose Robert Woods middle of the week, So, no, I don't take anything away.
But they got Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham Jr.
He can come into your team and just completely turn things around. He's shown that his entire career.
When are they going to ask LeBron his thoughts? Because remember, LeBron was like, if Odell gets out of Cleveland, it'll unlock him and he'll be the. Didn't LeBron's team get blown out last night by the Chicago Bulls?
I have no idea.
They lost. I don't know the final score, but they did lose.
And the Chicago Bulls are bad.
I think the Bulls are good.
Are they? I really have no right to comment on that because I have watched a total of zero NBA basketball.
Zero basketball.
Yeah. I watched college basketball, but I have watched zero NBA.
I can't stand college basketball anymore.
Why?
Oh, college basketball's awful.
Why?
The schools aren't fun anymore. The one and done has ruined the sport.
One and done, I'm not a fan of. I will give you that.
The one and done has ruined the sport.
It's
all these games this time of year don't mean anything. It's like, so-and-so versus Pepperdine. Great. And I got so much other stuff to watch. I got Monday Night Football. I got Thursday Night Football.
Did you not want to watch LSU Liberty last night? Interesting.
I'm just not interested in college basketball every year. I feel like it's gone down. My interest level of college basketball has gone down like 5% every year since I moved back from Louisville. So say it was at 100 because I was in Louisville. So then it was like 95 and then 90, and I feel like it's gone down, and now I feel like I'm at like 15%. So maybe a little bit more than 5% a year since I've only been here for 6 years.
I do love like conference matchup college basketball. Cupcake on a good team, doesn't really do it.
When I was a kid, I used to like conference college basketball.
Like the NCAA tournament.
Well,
not the NCAA, I'm sorry.
Likes tournament.
The SEC tournament, I love.
But see, even then, like, is the SEC good? Is Florida good anymore?
I don't know.
Is Tennessee's never going to win anything in the tournament, so forget about them.
Why do you say that?
Because they never do, and this coach never does.
Auburn's probably pretty solid.
Are they? I
mean,
think they got banned from a tournament game.
I've watched 2 Tennessee games and a handful of LSU games, so I have no right to comment on
Who are the 2
Auburn
Tennessee
basketball.
games you watched against?
One was, what was their first game? Like UTC or
Tennessee Tech or
Tennessee Tech, maybe.
Something
It was
like
like some sort of in-state rivalry. But I did it because I had to.
Yeah. I'm just, I just can't get up for it. I cannot get up for it. Like, maybe I'm a bad sports fan. Like, I feel like I'm starting to trend in that direction.
I think you're just getting old and crotchety.
I don't like the NBA.
Yep. Well, I mean, to be fair.
I like the 1990s NBA.
Yes, you do.
But I don't like
that
now
very
NBA.
much.
I've been listening to Scottie Pippen's new book.
I don't really like the NBA either. I never really have. It's never really done it for me.
So I don't like the NBA. I don't like college basketball anymore. Because the one and done.
I don't agree with you on that
the
one.
one and dones and like
the one and dones. I think
maybe if like Vandy was good, you could convince me to care in February. But I'd much rather talk about the combine than college basketball. And I'd much rather talk about the Predators than college basketball. And I get all the data, and I know that you all much rather talk about the Predators or the combine than college basketball.
A texter has weighed in. The Bulls are second in the East.
Great. So
go Bulls.
From North Carolina. Okay, so
UT Martin. That's who it was.
Oh,
yes,
oh.
UT Martin. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yep.
So
Thank you,
maybe
Steven.
you've got a shot in February of convincing me to watch college basketball. When I had COVID, like early January, late January, early February.
Oh, but
last
that's
year,
peak college basketball time. When you have nothing else to do.
There was nothing else to do. I had COVID, and I think the Predators got there was that random ice storm in Dallas. And
that's when all of Texas was completely shut
so
down.
they didn't play their games against Dallas. So I'm sitting at home, what am I going to do? I had nothing to do. And I think I watched a little college basketball then, but I still found it to be incredibly boring. So out on that. And
I would say give it a shot post-COVID era because I think a lot of people felt the same way, that not having fans and students and all the pomp and
that's why I'm saying put the suits on the coaches.
Okay, that is not even remotely close to the same thing.
Let me tell you.
That is Coach K could be in his underwear and I wouldn't care.
Just tell you. Just saying. 615-737-1025. We're back to your phones on the Titans. And if you guys want to throw this on there, you can as well. 615-737-1025. Stillman and Company right here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Let me tell everybody out there, that's right, to tune in Friday from 5 to 7 for Floyd Reese, a true Titan, honoring the legacy of Floyd Reese as the Titans' former general manager as he gets inducted into the Ring of Honor at Nissan Stadium this Sunday. This special will feature some of the biggest names in franchise history who knew Floyd as well as anybody. John Robinson will be a part of it. Mike Mularkey will be a part of it. Mike Munchak will be a part of it. Jerry Glanville will be a part of it. Derek Mason will be a part of it. I mean, we are just locked and loaded on the Floyd Reese Tribute Show. The Friday's tribute to Floyd Reese is brought to you by Neighbors Nashville. Neighbors is the best sports entertainment bar in Nashville with locations in Germantown, Sylvan Park, and coming soon to Franklin. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
If you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed helps you attract, screen, and interview quality candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Bode Nashville puts you in a chic and stylish downtown Nashville hotel, walking distance to some of Music City's most popular spots. Working with local partners, they introduce you to the city, its craft, and its tastes. From their porch coffee and marketplace, serving local coffee from Stay Golden, to their in-house cocktail bar, Sidebar. Bode Nashville is a perfect spot for your pregame or nightcap and citywide adventure in between. Connect to Music City, its culture, its craft, and each other at Bode Nashville at 401 2nd Avenue South in Sobro.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and let me tell you about my friends at Curation CBD. If you're like me and have aches and pains all over your body and you've been searching for a solution, well, I've got it. It's Curation CBD. Curation means healing, and that right there says it all. Curation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here from Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sell, Curation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use for athletes and for pets, too. Order yours now at CurationCompany.com. Curation CBD, curated for life.
Tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. and Friday at 3:15 to hear News 2's Corey Curtis take on all things Nashville sports, including the week's NFL games. All brought to you by Invigorate Health in Mount Juliet. Look and feel your best with IV therapy, medical weight loss, testosterone, body shaping, and more.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Don't miss the pregame show. That's right. Sunday live from Rock Bottom, downtown. Mark Howard, Chris Sanders, yours truly, from 9:30 to 11:30 before the Titans take on the Texans. The pregame show brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, FreedomTireGuys.com, FanDuel, E2 Roofing, Hillside Medical, Social Furniture, and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Let's go to your phones. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
One texter texts in and I think asks a pretty golden question. They say, I feel the same about the Rams, but the question is, what team do you really feel good about currently? Which 1 to 3 teams are really solid?
So I think the Packers are the best team in the NFL.
I would probably agree with that.
I can't, and honestly, I'm going to get all these people stirred up. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. And I really couldn't stand Aaron Rodgers before the COVID stuff, but I really can't stand Aaron Rodgers after the COVID stuff. And no, it's not that I don't think we should live our lives and things like that. I just don't think that, Aaron lied and he won't admit that he lied, and that bothers me. But I'm looking through. Colin Cowherd has his herd hierarchy, which is something he does every single week. Indianapolis is 10. When I saw Indy was 10, I was like, this league sucks.
What is his deal with Indianapolis?
Indianapolis is 10.
He loves Indianapolis.
The Rams are 9.
Okay.
The Bucks are 8.
Okay.
And the Bucks have kind of stunk it up.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are 7. Now, they've lost,
a slip,
Kyler Murray
but they've
and DeAndre
lost.
Hopkins haven't played. Kansas City 6.
Wow.
New England 5.
Whoa.
Buffalo 4. Green Bay 3. Dallas 2. Tennessee 1. So he doesn't include the Ravens or the Chargers, which I don't think those are good teams.
Agree.
I mean, you can make a case for me, Colts over Chargers.
Yeah.
He doesn't include like Minnesota or any of these teams that are hanging around.
Minnesota needs to be in there.
Like, have you seen the NFC playoff picture?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God. We talk about the AFC playoff picture all the time. The NFC playoff picture is a mess. So we know the 5 best teams, right? The Arizona,
Packers,
Green Bay,
Arizona,
Dallas, Tampa Bay, and the Rams.
Yes.
So once you get past that in the NFC, you've got the Rams are 5, Saints are 6, Cam Newton and the Panthers are 7, Vikings are 8.
Oh.
So the NFC is a mess outside of the top. This is why the Derrick Henry injury hurts so bad. Because if Derrick Henry's on the Titans, I don't think other than Green Bay there's much of an argument that there's any other team that really belongs in the same discussion as the Titans.
Well, compared to where did you say that he put the Arizona Cardinals? 7?
7th.
ESPN has him at 3.
They're not docking them for that Panthers loss because Kyler didn't play.
Packers, Titans, Cardinals, Cowboys, Rams, top 5.
So I think I would, and again, not that anybody cares about my power rankings, or I haven't even done power rankings.
I know Robbie probably doesn't care about them.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't. I think the Packers are the best team in the NFL. Like, I think Dallas would be the Titans. Dallas is 2nd. Titans are probably 3rd. Now, you get Derrick Henry back, changes the story.
Yes.
But, we have not been told for sure that Derrick Henry's coming back. But I think it's the point of the texter, which is, who do you trust in the NFL this year? And there really is not a lot of teams, and the Titans just keep getting it done. The reality is they just keep getting it done.
And I hear a lot of people, like you're saying, Kyler Murray not playing and, the Carolina loss, ESPN isn't penalizing them for that. I do wonder if the Titans had lost to the Saints or the Rams or any of their games that they will not play with Derrick Henry, would they get that same kind of nod from ESPN or from any of these power rankings?
No, but
I know that quarterback and running back are 2 very different positions.
ESPN thinks Derrick Henry's out for the season. That's the difference. Like, Kyler is not out for the season.
No.
Kyler's going to play this Sunday.
Yes.
Like, so they're looking at it like, well, they had a loss, but Kyler's not. But Kyler's coming back this week, and then when Kyler comes back this week, they're the 3rd best team in the league. They think Derrick Henry's out for the year. And no matter how much you tell them that nobody else seems to think that Derrick Henry's going to be out for the year, they seem to keep thinking that Derrick Henry is out for the year. What's next?
Ron texts in and says, I feel like a lot of people would say the Bills are the biggest threat to the Titans in the AFC, but I would say New England. Belichick is not to be underestimated.
Okay, so the New England thing. This first month of the season, everybody thought the Patriots were awful. Then they held their own against Tampa Bay in that Sunday night game. Nobody heard from the Patriots again because they played the Jets and Carolina, and now they smoked the Browns. Now, I don't know if you think the Browns are a good team. I am of the belief that they are not.
I would say they are below average.
Okay.
Below average to average.
They smoked the Browns. They smoked Carolina, bad team. And I think they didn't smoke the Chargers, but they beat the Chargers in L.A. Is that enough for us to automatically, again, Cowherd's poll has them at 5. Is that enough for us to say New England is a real threat? Because when I think about the playoffs and who you'd have to play, I think about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. When I think of the Patriots, they've got a rookie quarterback. And rookie quarterbacks usually don't do very well in the playoffs. Now, again, you could beat the Carolina Panthers, who were so desperate they went out and signed Cam Newton to play quarterback. But I'm still a little skeptical on Belichick in New England. Now, I think they'll pummel Atlanta on Thursday night.
Probably.
Because I don't think Atlanta's any good. I think Arthur's doing the best he can out there, but I don't think they're any good.
They just had a beat down of all beat downs.
But I don't feel good about the Patriots. Like, I'm not ready to. Who would you rather play? Patriots or Ravens?
Patriots.
Ian, who would you rather play? Patriots or Ravens?
That is a tough one.
I say Patriots solely based off of that is a quarterback decision.
I might lean the Patriots too. Just because I feel like Lamar can single-handedly win games.
Didn't Lamar basically come in here and do that last year? Like, he had like a 55-yard touchdown run, and they couldn't stop him. There are two reasons why I would pick the Patriots I'd rather play.
Mm-hmm.
One team has a rookie quarterback, the other one doesn't.
Yep.
The Ravens can kick. And in the playoffs, being able to hit a 62-yarder matters. And the Patriots can't. So those are things that I think, probably have to factor in a little bit here.
But are we going to factor in the Belichick factor at all? Because I do think that comes into play.
But when's the last time it mattered? You've already beaten Belichick in the playoffs. Vrabel is 2-0 in his career against Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Belichick, last year, they went 7-9. Everybody was dumping on Belichick because Brady won the Super Bowl. And I was like, hey, let's be fair to Bill here. I'm a Bill fan. I think Bill's doing a good job, but Bill still has a rookie quarterback.
That is true.
And those old guys,
Bill doesn't play.
Those guys know you can't win with rookie quarterbacks. Like, I have listened to, so many different random Jared and the GM podcasts over the last couple of days, getting ready for this Floyd Reese special show that we're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, last night I was listening to a bunch of Ask the GMs. And I was listening, 2019. It's a long story about our old podcast server compared to our new podcast server, but it's easier to find things from, the fall of 2019 right at the quarterback change.
Mm-hmm.
I can explain why, but you all don't care. It's too hot. But I'm listening to these old podcasts, and this is right when they made the move from Mariota to Tannehill, and it's a lot of talk about drafting a quarterback. And they asked the question of Floyd about how do you know whether or not Tannehill should be the guy or if they should go draft a guy to start with. And he said you have to take into consideration what your team looks like. Because if you get a rookie quarterback, you're not going to win with a rookie. And I think Chicago is an example of this, where all the fans and all the media just dumped on that old coach out there in Chicago and said Nagy stinks and Ryan Pace stinks and the Bears are terrible and the Bears, how dare they play Andy Dalton over Justin Fields. And I watch the games, and I see Fields make a couple of nice throws or run around and make some plays, and I'm like, well, yeah, the kid's got talent, but he doesn't win any games. And they made the playoffs last year with Mitch Trubisky as their starting quarterback. So that told me all I needed to know. And Chicago, because these guys are going to get fired at the end of the year, they wanted Andy Dalton to be their quarterback because they probably felt like, oh, we got no shot of winning with a rookie. So because they've got no shot of winning with a rookie, that's how all the old football guys think.
Mm-hmm.
Bill thinks the same way. Bill was just backed into a corner where it was like, hey, I've got the opportunity to draft a kid or I can run Cam Newton back out there. Well, he's not going to run Cam Newton back out there. So he drafts the kid, and now he knows, hey, we're going to go through some growing pains. They've won some ball games, but I don't think that means that you can win in the playoffs. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Ben Roethlisberger had a good season as a rookie. They lost in the playoffs to New England. But I'd much rather play a rookie quarterback come playoff time than play Lamar Jackson. I'd much rather play a rookie quarterback than play Josh Allen. That's how I feel about the Patriots. And look, Belichick's a good coach, and I'm not taking anything away from him. But New England, let's see if they beat Buffalo. They've got 2 coming up with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if they beat Buffalo in these games. What's next?
Another texter texts in and says, if it comes down to the Titans being the number 1 seed, would you rest starters if you already have it locked up in week 16 and 17?
Is Derrick Henry playing? Because if Derrick comes back in week 17, then everybody plays. Because Derrick has to play.
If he doesn't?
I probably play everybody because you're taking off a week. And, like, you just can't do that in sports. You
Yeah.
can't just take off 2 weeks and not play. I think everybody plays. That's my rule on it. Hal Gill, Predators are red hot on the road at Toronto tonight. Hal Gill will join us next. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tonight.
Saros able to cover it up. Johansson tips it in. Back to Duchesne, scores.
The Nashville Predators head back on the road to face Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pre-game at 5, face-off at 6 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Hey, it's Jared. Your body needs water. That doesn't mean it has to be boring. And I'm here to tell you to give Focus a try. Focus is a sparkling water with a spark. It's infused with a boost of natural tea caffeine, so you get clean energy without sugar, calories, or crash. Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door. Enter promo code GAME at checkout for 15% off your first order. Focus is also available at your local Publix. That's Focus, P-H-O-C-U-S, on the web at drinkfocus.com.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company, and Craneworks and Rental Works, your source for crane and equipment rental. Visit Craneworks.com. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's up, Nashville? This is Stephen A. Smith. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Predators getting an early start tonight, 6 o'clock at Toronto. Let me tell everybody about Smashville Live tomorrow night with special guests David Legwan and Scott Hamilton, hosted by Chase McCabe. The show will air on Wednesdays during the Pred season from 6 to 7, featuring Preds players, former players, and other special guests. You can watch the show via 102.5 The Game's Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube and Twitter. Be sure to join us this hockey season for Smashville Live. Hal Gill is in the booth in Toronto where the Preds are getting set to play. Hal, I went to the game Saturday night. I think the Predators are pretty good. Like, I know it's early, and I don't want to get too bent out of shape about what happens in November because it hardly matters when it comes Cup time. But I think the Predators are pretty good right now, and I think a large part of that is Matt Duchene, who just seems to keep on rocking and rolling. What do you make of him, and what do you make of this start?
Hey, this is fun, right? I mean, I know you wanted to bash on how bad they were going to be. Be honest. You were excited that you were going to be able to complain about something, but this team is hard to complain about right now. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup, and their studs are acting like studs, like Duchene. I mean, he's fun to watch right now. Yossi is all over the place. I think you're getting contributions from the young guys. Tanner Jeannot has been a bright spot. Young defense that are coming in and getting the job done. A big test tonight, I think. But all in all, I'm just happy it's a fun team to watch.
So I think my bigger thing right now with the Predators is it feels like over the years we've done a lot of, well, if this happens and if that happens and if this and if, and the ifs, like hoping is not a strategy. We've done a lot of if Ryan Johansson plays at a certain level, if Matt Duchene plays at a certain level. I think that that's a big key for the stretch that they've had right now. You're right about contributions from everybody, but the guys who are making the most money are actually starting to play the best. And I think that's when David Poile hired John Hines almost 2 years ago. That was kind of the message, which was, I need the best players playing the best. Right now, Yossi's playing well, Duchene's playing well, Johansson's playing well. I think that's exactly what this club needs.
Yeah, and John Hines came in large part for that. You look at what he did with Taylor Hall in New Jersey and had a great season for himself there, and now you're looking at Duchene doing the same thing. There's a level of buy-in, and I talk about a lot of the subtleties that you see in the game, guys back-checking hard, guys playing responsibly, defensively, and you're seeing that to a man, really. Everyone is playing their part. Mikhail Granlund doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's starting to put it on the score sheet and score some goals, and he's got a ton of assists. And you're seeing guys like him that are playing the right way and are getting rewarded under the John Hines system. So the buy-in has been huge. And, he talks about ifs and buts and all that, but right now, with the buy-in to the system, with everything that they're doing right defensively, they're getting rewarded offensively, and that just makes players happy. The bottom line is if a player works hard and gets rewarded, they're happy, coaches are happy, and then it turns into a fun atmosphere, which is what they have right now.
How sustainable is Matt Duchene's play?
Well, he's got a great shot. He's got a ton of speed. He's playing downhill, which means that he's attacking the net. So if he continues to play that way, there's nothing that should stop him. It's not like a fluke, right? I mean, we've been looking at it like if he could just play the right way, he could be productive. And he wasn't playing the right way. He's playing on the perimeter, and he was trying to look for the pretty plays. Right now, he gets the puck and he shoots it, and he's got confidence in it, and that's just going to open up more plays for him. It's only going to make the rest of his game better if he just continues to keep shooting. And I don't know why it would stop. It's not a fluky thing. This kid's good. He's got a ton of talent. We were just waiting for it to show up, and here it is. I don't see a reason why it should stop.
I look at the Predators right now, and I think that a lot of this, the goaltending is a huge part of it. I think that's how it is for most teams around the league. UC Saros is playing at a level that he was playing at the end of last year. At what point does he go from a red-hot goaltender to this is what he is? Because I don't feel like around the league he gets that kind of credit.
It's tough. I think there's always going to be someone that – same with Duchene. Like, when is this bubble going to burst? Mm-hmm. I don't believe it's going to. I don't think there's any reason why it should. He's so technically sound, and Saros can get from post to post quicker than anyone in the league. So I think the bottom line is that's who he is, and he's playing great hockey. He's confident right now. I think they're going to have to manage his workload at some point and back him off some games. But right now the schedule's set up pretty well for him to go out and just keep doing what he does and playing with that confidence. He's attacking pucks. He's at the top of his crease, and he's got confidence to get back into position when he needs to. So And we talked about the defensive system. I think the way they're playing now defensively is going to help any goalie, especially a guy like Saros who wants to get out to the top of his crease. He's a smaller guy, so he needs to cut down angles a little bit more than maybe Pecorine did. And so if he can get out there and be aggressive with a good defense around him, I don't know why he wouldn't keep on rolling the way he is. Now, I say that, and this is a big test. This is some high offense that's coming with Matthews and Marner and Tavares, but it's a big test. I think he can pass.
How big is this game against Toronto? I mean, I went Saturday night, and that Arizona team, like, they're bad, and I feel bad in November when I'm watching a team and I'm like, they're bad, and they know they're bad. Like, Arizona knows they're terrible. Toronto, every year they have humongous expectations. They've got great offensive players. They've never put it together in the playoffs yet. And yet I do feel like this is a pretty good measuring stick game, kind of like Thursday night against the Blues was.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a flash forward to my key to the game is re-engaging. This team needs to re-engage because it's not going to be the Coyotes out there. They were pretty bad. It was kind of sickening to watch at times. They know they're bad. Everyone knows they're bad. The Preds knew they were bad, and they went out and you know, it's still an NHL game you have to play, but you're playing these guys, and you better be ready for it. It's going to be and don't forget, and put yourself in the mind of a player. We are in Canada. We're in the Mecca in Toronto. It's going to be a big game. Every game is a big game here, but we're going to be in Montreal after this. We're going to have a night out here in Toronto, and every TV is going to be showing highlights of your game. And the last thing you want to be is posterized over and over. So you go out there, and this is very real, is you don't want to be embarrassed on a night like tonight. You want to be a winner in Toronto and go to Montreal with a good feeling because you have 4 days off with this Ottawa game being canceled. Mm-hmm. You have 4 days off to think about it. So you need a big performance tonight, and that's why I think they need to be dialed in, re-engage, and get ready to go.
What do we know about Rick Peckham, who's going to be calling the game with you tonight, Hal? Obviously, Pete feeling a little bit under the weather, so we hope Pete's going to be feeling well soon enough. But Rick is going to be calling the game with you. Hall of Famer, I do believe, calling the game with you tonight right here on 102.5 The Game.
Yeah, I'm excited. He's sitting here with me right now, and we're going over our notes. And in the end, I'm excited. We're going to sit here and talk some hockey. It's going to be fun. I do miss my boy Pete, but you know, we found this guy off the street. He just went from the Hall of Fame over to my booth, so I'm a little bit humbled over here working with him. But it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have a good time. So make sure you tune in. We'll have a good time.
It's like the Adrian Peterson of the broadcast booth tonight. Guy's headed right for the guy's literally going to the Hall of Fame tomorrow. And just like Adrian Peterson, and he will be filling in for Pete Weber, who we can't wait for him to get back, just like Derrick Henry as well. Hal, appreciate it. Have a great call tonight.
All right, thanks. Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Hal. Have a great night. Miss you.
I don't get to talk to Adrian Peterson. He's going to talk. Okay. Hal.
Well, I don't get to talk to Hal.
As always, you ain't missing much. As always, joining us on the program here, 615-737-1025. Are you in agreement with Hal that it's going to be hard, that he believes that UC Saros and Matt Duchene are going to continue the play that they've had so far?
I mean, do I have any reason to believe that they won't?
I think with Duchene, you've got...
Duchene, I would say that it is fair, that you could probably expect potentially a leveling out of production. But is that the worst thing in the world? I mean, there's a difference between, having your really, really high peaks and your really, really low valleys. But Matt Duchene has been producing at a pretty high level recently. And I don't think that I'm going to fall back if Matt Duchene stops producing like he has, for a week or two. I'm not going to fall back into, there's 2020 Duchene for you. I think that there needs to be a level of consistency, because that isn't something that we've seen too much from this team, at least last season. I would like to see a level of consistency. But I mean, I say ride the wave while you can.
Predators Game Day is next right here. ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're streaming the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
Look for gradually clearing skies as we head into the evening hours. Temperatures, though, stay on the mild side in the mid-50s. On our way to the warmest day of the week for Wednesday, breezy with highs in the mid-70s with sunshine. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It takes 2 vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines. Sponsored by Sanofi Pasteur.
What's up, everybody? This is Teron Davenport, and I am here to tell you about Freedom Tire Guys. They're Nashville's premier mobile tire service. New tires, rotating, balancing, flat repair, torquing, they do it all. I can tell you this from personal experience. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at the Titans facility. They came there and changed my tires, all 4 of them. They did an excellent job. My car is riding extra smooth now. If you're in need of tire service, be sure to check them out at freedomtireguys.com. You don't see the tires you want, they'll go ahead and get it for you.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the Don't Sell Without the Intel and the Guaranteed Offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed Offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Need a new roof? Get a roof built with integrity from E2 Roofing. E2 is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 95 5-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 90 5-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 assists customers with roof repair and replacements through insurance claim assistance. Find out if insurance will pay for your new roof with a free inspection at e2roofingnashville.com.
Hey, this is Jared, the owner of MTGRT.com. Have you heard about those pesky appraisal gaps? We have too. That's why for our buyers, we create a custom appraisal gap analysis. You know what? A strong appraisal gap analysis from MTGRT.com helps prepare your offer for what could be. Let us help you make your dream home a reality. Text me on my cell today at 615-969-2257 or schedule time for us to talk online at MTGRT.com.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old? You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health, if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or InvigorateHealthTN.com.
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curation CBD on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
It's Hockey Night in Smashville.
Deflects back for Duchesne. His shot stop and the score!
What are the keys to victory tonight? What's being said in the locker room? Where Where do the Preds reside in the Central Division standings? Jared Stillman has the latest now. With Preds Game Day on Stillman and Company. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. This is Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Predators and Maple Leafs tonight from Toronto. The Maple Leafs are 10-5-1, good for 21 points, hosting the Predators 9-5-1, good for 19. The Leafs are 7-2-1 at home, where the Preds are 5-2-1 on the road. The Predators are killing it. Their 8 wins since October 24th are tied for the most in the NHL in that time frame. We start with the coach's take. John Hines against the Maple Leafs.
They're obviously playing really well right now, and I think when you look at their team, the way that they're playing 5-on-5 has been I think strong and committed. Obviously, their special teams are both very good. So, we have a lot of respect for them. I think that they have a lot of talent, but they're playing really well as a team right now. And, we feel good about our game and how competitive we've been. And we need to know we're going to have to bring one of our best efforts here.
And they probably will. I'm a big fan of Toronto. I think Toronto over the years has a chance to be pretty good. Meanwhile, taking a look, they just always choke in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They're like the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, taking a look at the standings, the Predators are in second place, 1 point behind the Minnesota Wild. The Wild have a game in hand, tied with the Winnipeg Jets, who also have a game in hand. So the Predators are really in third or fourth place because the Blues are 1 point behind, and they've got a game in hand too. So that's not good. But as of right now, you can only win the points you already did. It doesn't mean those teams are going to win those points. The Predators, meanwhile, are in second place. So there's that for them. Tonight, what are you watching for?
I really want to see the Preds defense tonight because I know Toronto has kind of their big boy forwards, their Austin Matthews of the world. But I mean, the Preds defense has been playing lights out. So that's really what I'm looking for tonight, is to see if they're able to shut down the guys like Austin Matthews.
That's going to do it for us. Pre-game is next. We are back tomorrow at 2:00.